Chapter 951, Destroying the Xiaoyao Sect. A strong wind was blowing as the crowd heard sonic booms above them. Lin Feng was moving too fast. The talisman Lin Feng was using was created by the leader Yao Guang and contained abstruse energies. With the Yao Guang leader's level of understanding, the talisman was an incredible treasure. However, he hadn't managed to get rid of the patriarch of the Xiaoyao sect. The Xiaoyao agility technique was an ancient technique. Even though they didn't use the very same one, it was still very efficient. Coupled with the patriarch's high cultivation level and the fact that he was insane from losing his forearm, he was moving even faster. He was definitely going to capture and kill Lin Feng. "Old dog, hurry up. It seems like you're too slow," said Lin Feng. Surprisingly, Lin Feng continued provoking the patriarch of the Xiaoyao sect. "I will show you what it feels like to die," the voice of the patriarch from behind. Both were running so fast that Lin Feng couldn't even hear his voice clearly. After a short time, both of them had already traveled a great distance. "That old dog is extremely fast and my talisman is almost all used up," thought Lin Feng. He took out another talisman, absorbed all its energy without hesitating. He couldn't afford to slow down. 5 cultivators were following them, but they couldn't catch up with the patriarch of the Xiaoyao sect. The distance between them and the patriarch of the Xiaoyao sect was becoming greater. From behind, they could barely see the patriarch of the Xiaoyao sect or Lin Feng. They were a bit annoyed. They wondered if the patriarch of the Xiaoyao sect would be able to catch up with Lin Feng. They wanted to be there to attack Lin Feng as well, otherwise the patriarch of the Xiaoyao sect would keep all Lin Feng's treasures for himself. They really had hoped to destroy Tianqi and steal their treasures, but now it seemed impossible. After a long time, the patriarch of the Xiaoyao sect slowed down. He was feeling tired because of his injury. Could he stop and watch Lin Feng escape though? He was infuriated. The patriarch of the Xiaoyao sect couldn't see Lin Feng anymore. He had escaped. Finally, the patriarch of the Xiaoyao sect stopped. His qi was weak and he had a gloomy facial expression. He stayed there motionless. After that, some people appeared behind him, King Dragon and the others. They saw the patriarch of the Xiaoyao sect standing there motionless, so they also slowed down. Had Lin Feng escaped? "Patriarch, why are you not chasing Lin Feng?" asked Miaqing. Shengong had been destroyed, Tianqi was safe, and now, Lin Feng had escaped. Had they just wasted their time? The patriarch of the Xiaoyao sect raised his head and looked at Miaqing coldly. He was in a very bad mood. Why was Miaqing talking shit? Couldn't he see that chasing Lin Feng was a fool's errand? The 6 strong cultivators all looked sad now. Tianqi had gained a great reputation in Ganyu and theirs was now ruined. They had done so much, organized the great sect meeting, invited so many strong cultivators to destroy Tianqi. In the end, nothing worked. Tianqi was safe, Lin Feng was safe, and on the contrary, they had lost a lot of their own cultivators. Most of them were injured, even the patriarch had lost an arm. "What do we do now?" asked Miaqing. What should he do? Continue chasing Lin Feng or go back to Tianqi? "Let's go back to Tianqi. We can continue killing ordinary citizens. Lin Feng will probably have to come back at some point," said the patriarch of the Xiaoyao sect. Lin Feng had made them leave Tianqi on purpose. "Alright, let's go back to Tianqi," said the others, nodding. They wondered what had happened there since they left. They hoped that their allies remained there. If they had, they could continue killing people and then Lin Feng would be forced to come back. When they arrived, they found that the crowd had dispersed and there were corpses everywhere. Those who hadn't died had escaped. It seemed that after they left, Tianqi had attacked. Even worse, Tianqi hadn't lost anyone. They were the last 6, how frustrating. They could only leave now. What else could they do? It was impossible for those 6 to destroy Tianqi alone. Each snowy peak in Tianqi had their own Zun cultivators, none of them were weak. Somewhere else at that same moment, someone appeared in an old town. His face was yellow and he looked sick, a Cheong-chi was standing next to him. Lin Feng and Cheong-chi arrived at the most famous place of Xiaoyao City, the Xiaoyao sect. It had a gigantic territory, as big as a city. Lin Feng looked around and then continued moving forwards. He went to a hotel in town to have a rest. He closed the curtains and slept. That night, a shadow appeared in the sky. It was an ancient beast, a Cheong-chi. He was traveling to the Xiaoyao sect. A fire started on that calm night, but it was no ordinary fire, it was a dark red fire which contained animal and human energies. Some people awoke and saw lights outside. It looked like fire. They were a bit surprised but not alarmed. What was that? But suddenly, a gigantic fireball fell from the sky onto the territory of the Xiaoyao sect. The people who were awake were astonished. A fireball crashed onto the Xiaoyao sect's territory. Very quickly, the fire spread as more fireballs fell down from the sky. The fire became progressively larger. Everywhere, trees and buildings were burning, smoke was filling the sky. Very quickly, the whole territory was on fire. Someone is attacking us by surprise, thought some people. It wasn't long before the whole territory was on fire, they couldn't believe it their eyes. Chapter 952, Xiaoyao sect's humiliation. The Xiaoyao sect was burning and people were giving horrible shrieks. Many people started burning alive too. They couldn't extinguish the fire. Show yourself, who are you and why do you want to destroy our sect? Shouted someone furiously. That fire was so vast that people couldn't see anyone else, only shadows. Where did the fire come from? How strong was the enemy? Considering the power of the fire, the attacker could only be a powerful Zun cultivator. The members of the Xiaoyao sect came out but didn't dare rise up in the air. They were just shouting. Where is your patriarch? Make him come out, said a deep and loud voice while the Xiaoyao sect continued burning. He will come back quickly, please stop attacking us. Some strong cultivators rose up in the air only to avoid the fire. They didn't want to attack Lin Feng carelessly. They didn't know how strong he was. Besides, the attacker was looking for their patriarch, so they didn't want to upset him further. That old dog knows that I am here, he won't show his face anymore because he knows that I'm stronger, said a deep voice. The strong cultivators glanced at each others. That cultivator actually called their patriarch an old dog. It was probably an extremely strong Zun cultivator and he was coming for their patriarch. Since the old dog doesn't want to come out, I'll destroy your sect. I won't kill you though, go and inform your patriarch, that old dog, that when I, Mr. Lin, say something, I stick to my words. Tell him I am a man of my word, said Lin Feng in a deep voice. Who was Mr. Lin? They didn't know who that incredible Zun cultivator was, but it seemed their patriarch had offended a very strong Zun cultivator. Mister, isn't there a way to solve the problem? Asked some people. Solve the problem? Ask that old dog what he did after I cut off his arm, said a deep voice coming from the sky. People shivered. Cut off his arm. Their patriarch had lost an arm, how was that even possible? You're lying. You will see if I'm lying when he comes back. Ask that old dog and he will tell you everything. Then, he will come and find me, said Lin Feng. Don't forget to tell that old dog that Mr. Lin came here, said Lin Feng as he left. The whole territory of the Xiaoyao sect was completely destroyed. The members of the Xiaoyao sect were furious. That fire was too strong to put out. Mr. Lin, who was that? Many people came towards the territory of the Xiaoyao sect wondering what had happened there. Had someone set the Xiaoyao sect on fire? What had happened? Which strong cultivator was so furious that he had destroyed the entire Xiaoyao sect? Had the arm of the patriarch of the Xiaoyao sect really been cut off? The fire slowly became weaker. The Xiaoyao sect had been wiped off the map and replaced with ashes. Everything they had, all their treasures, their homes, their parks, trees, flowers, everything had disappeared in the flames. Early in the morning, someone arrived. His arm was cut off and his sleeve was fluttering in the wind loosely, and he had a gloomy facial expression. The patriarch of the Xiaoyao sect was now disabled. What a humiliation! The patriarch of the Xiaoyao sect came back. People in Xiaoyao city saw the patriarch of the Xiaoyao sect flying above them. Many people were looking at his arm though. The patriarch of the Xiaoyao sect come back and one of his arms was missing, thought the crowd. What the Zun cultivator had said last night was true. He had really cut off the patriarch's arm. He realized that everybody was looking at him and more precisely at his arm. He was furious. His heart felt like it was going to explode. He moved even faster, at the speed of light, in the direction of the Xiaoyao sect. Finally, he arrived, but there was nothing to come home to. There was nothing left. The mountains were polished like egg shells. There wasn't a speck of grass left, the lakes and rivers were dry, the soil was black. There wasn't even a palace left. Many people were on the ground, injured or dead. The Xiaoyao sect didn't exist anymore. Who? Shouted the patriarch of the Xiaoyao sect extremely loudly. He felt like he was going to faint from anger. Most of those people were at the top of the Tianqi layer, some were even Zun cultivators who had died or were injured in the fire. Who did that? Asked the patriarch of the Xiaoyao sect furiously. Everybody lowered their head, they didn't look at the patriarch. Speak, shouted the patriarch of the Xiaoyao sect furiously. Patriarch, that person hates you. It was a terrifying fire Zun cultivator, said a cultivator of the Tianqi layer. How strong? Asked the patriarch of the Xiaoyao sect coldly. How strong? That person looked petrified. He couldn't know how strong Lin Feng was, nobody had fought him. Very strong, we couldn't compete with him, said that person. What you mean is that you just watched the sect getting destroyed and that nobody tried to protect it, said the patriarch of the Xiaoyao sect angrily. He released energies which enveloped those people. He said that person was terrified. Speak, said the patriarch of the Xiaoyao sect. He said he cut off your arm and insulted you, he called you an old dog, said that person reluctantly. But he had to talk because the patriarch was furious. Boom! He released a terrifying amount of qi and yelled, tell me, was he a young man? Or a man with a yellow face? He knows then, thought the crowd. If that person had cut off his arm, it meant that he was extremely strong and that their patriarch wouldn't blame them for not attacking. Because of the fire, we couldn't see clearly. He told us to tell you that Mr. Lin did that. He also said that you should go and find him. Mr. Lin destroyed the Xiaoyao sect, old dog, cut off his arm. Those words exploding inside the patriarch's head. Lin Feng. Lin Feng had made his way to the sect and destroyed it. Lin Feng had set the sect on fire. A cultivator of the second Tianqi layer had scared Zun cultivators and cultivators at the top of the Tianqi layer. Everything was so ridiculous and tragic at the same time, even the patriarch of the Xiaoyao sect was speechless and burst into laughter. He laughed, and laughed, like madman. He had gone insane and the crowd didn't know how to react. Die! Boom boom! A terrifying qi emerged and the cultivator of the Tianqi layer suddenly exploded. The patriarch of the Xiaoyao sect ignored the others and left. Chapter 953, Returning to Tianqi. Not far from the East Sea Empire, someone appeared in the sky. He was riding a cruel-looking beast and was flying in the direction of the East Sea Empire. The Xiaoyao sect had been destroyed and it was a great humiliation for the patriarch of the Xiaoyao sect. He had probably gone insane from the humiliation. He hadn't been able to destroy Tianqi, so he decided to attack the ordinary citizens of the Tianqi Empire instead. Now, Lin Feng had taken his revenge. The East Sea Dragon Palace, Jade Heaven, etc. they all wanted to capture Lin Feng and steal his treasures, then kill him. If Lin Feng had the opportunity, he would definitely set their territories ablaze. Qiong Qi had swallowed the void fire and turned into a Tian-level beast, his fire was extremely potent. Therefore, setting entire territories on fire wasn't difficult for him. His fire was so powerful that even the members of the Xiaoyao sect were scared to death and wouldn't attack. Only Zun cultivators could possess such a powerful fire. They all thought that Lin Feng was a powerful Zun cultivator. He had even managed to scare them with a few words and had let him burn the Xiaoyao sect as they watched. Many people heard about what happened in Tianqi and guessed that the one who set the Xiaoyao sect on fire was Lin Feng. The strong cultivators of the Xiaoyao sect felt extremely guilty. They had been scared of a cultivator of the second Tianqi layer. Cultivators at the top of the Tianqi layer and some Zun cultivators had watched Lin Feng destroy their sect. Little Lin Feng, said a voice at that moment. Lin Feng was surprised. Suddenly, Snow appeared next to him. Teacher, what are you doing here? Lin Feng said, surprised to see the Snow Zun cultivator there. Little Lin Feng, I heard about what you did to the Xiaoyao sect. Are you going to the East Sea Dragon Palace now? Asked the Snow Zun cultivator. Was he omniscient? Indeed, said Lin Feng nodding. He wanted to see if it was possible to set the East Sea Dragon Palace on fire as well. Come back with me to Tianqi, said the Snow Zun cultivator in a grave and solemn way. Teacher. Those people had humiliated Tianqi and wanted to destroy them. Lin Feng couldn't let them off now. The Snow Zun cultivator looked firm. He shook his head and said, news spread quickly in Ganyu. Many people will know what you did to the Xiaoyao sect, and when they learn about it, the East Sea Dragon Palace will be prepared to protect their territory. You were lucky it worked the first time, but you can't rely on luck too often. Come back with me to Tianqi, Tianqi needs to talk to you. Lin Feng didn't feel like it. The Snow Zun cultivator said, don't worry, little Lin Feng. With your spell in Tianqi, we're only going to rise. Sooner or later, we'll be overlords in Ganyu. Shengong and the Xiaoyao sect have almost completely disappeared and the other powerful groups have lost a lot. Tianqi can only grow now. Okay, said Lin Feng nodding. He knew that his teacher was worried about him. After all, he was quite weak. He had actually dared to set the Xiaoyao sect on fire because he had secret tricks, but tricks could only get him so far. Let's go, said the Snow Zun cultivator smiling. He turned around and started flying towards Tianqi. Lin Feng closely followed him. Many people in Tianqi and even the seniors admired Lin Feng. Even though all those things had happened because of him, Lin Feng contributed to making Tianqi grow. He was ready to do anything for Tianqi, it seemed. It was calm in the mountains. After what had happened, Tianxian had completely changed. People hadn't thought that the Snow Zun cultivator was as strong as Mr. Tianji. People respected Tianxian even more because that. There were also the Sword Zun cultivator and the Fire Zun cultivator. Even though they weren't as strong as the Snow Zun cultivator, they were surprisingly strong. And Lin Feng was their disciple, he received their teachings so Tianxian would rise to great heights. Lin Feng would probably become the leader of Tianqi in its entirety someday. Of course, maybe Lin Feng had his ambitions elsewhere. At that moment, Lin Feng and the Snow Zun cultivator arrived in Tianxian. Snowflakes were floating around like normal. Everybody was delighted to see them come back. Lin Feng has balls. He set the Xiaoyao sect on fire. Awesome, said the Fire Zun cultivator smiling. He had also thought of setting those places on fire many a times. Unfortunately, he had only thought about, Lin Feng had actually done it. Lin Feng laughed and shrugged. Not only did he set the Xiaoyao sect on fire, but he also wanted to do the same to the East Sea Dragon Palace. Said the Snow Zun cultivator. The Fire Zun cultivator made a face. Lin Feng was going on a rampage. Hee, next time, could you tell me so that I join, said Huang Fulong giggling in a silly way and scratching his head. It must have been such a pleasure to set the Xiaoyao sect on fire. Lin Feng tapped his friend's shoulder and said smiling, brother, you've broken through to the Tianqi layer. You rock. Bullshit, I can't even fight properly, said Huang Fulong. He hadn't been able to help during the war. Don't be impatient, the world is big. When we go to other regions and provinces, you'll have the opportunity to battle, said Yun Fei Yang smiling. He wanted to go to Ba Huang too. He had survived great wars and now he wanted to become stronger. We have to sharpen our swords first, we are still too weak. In the Shuiyu region, Tian-level cultivators are considered strong, but not abroad, said Jun Mo Shi. You're all completely off your rockers, said Tang Yu Yu with a resplendent smile on her face. What were those guys talking about? Lin Feng, you must be tired. You should rest. It's good for your cultivation. Jun Mo Shi and the others wanted to battle, but she was worried about Lin Feng. After all, he had done a lot and was probably tired. From Ganyu to Shuiyu and then from Shuiyu to Ganyu. Unfortunately, they couldn't help Lin Feng at all. Lin Feng looked at Tang Yu Yu with a gentle smile and nodded. Indeed, little Lin Feng needs a good rest, said the Snow Zune cultivator. However, at that moment, someone arrived. The crowd turned around and saw Mr. Tianji. Behind him was a strong wind. He was quickly followed by other people, the leaders of the other peaks. Tian Shuzi was even there. However, he was at the end of the row and he looked indifferent as if he didn't know the others. First, they nodded at the Snow Zune cultivator and then they looked at Lin Feng. Lin Feng smiled wryly, he wasn't used to such treatment. Chapter 954, The Gift, Lin Feng, said Mr. Tianji. Everybody knows your name in Ganyu now. Lin Feng smiled wryly. Indeed, he had cast a protection spell in Tianqi and had set the entire Xiaoyao sect on fire. Everybody knew him or had heard of him. With your spell and the abstruse energy, you turned Tianqi into a holy cultivation place, and at the same time, you transformed it into a powerful fortress. You are a benefactor to Tianqi, said Mr. Tianji. Lin Feng was still standing there embarrassed. I am a member of Tianxian and have received treasures from Tianxian. I caused this trouble so it was my duty to fix it. No need to praise me anymore, said Lin Feng indifferently. Mr. Tianji shook his head and said, you did great things. Thanks to you, we didn't lose much during the war and we became stronger than ever. From now on, nobody will ever offend Tianqi. Lin Feng, whatever skill, technique or spell you need, tell us and we'll give it to you. Lin Feng remained silent and heard a voice in his head, bullshit, without me, what would you have done? Yan Di's proud voice made Lin Feng think that Yan Di was, indeed, an incredible treasure. But he had hidden him from everyone, from the beginning to the end. I know what you're thinking. Don't worry, in the future, when we travel together, I won't treat you unfairly. I'll give you or help you find any skill, technique or spell you need. No need to take anything from them, said Yan Di using telepathy. Lin Feng couldn't ask them anything, that would be shameless. I will remember what you said and will never forget it. I trust you all completely, said Lin Feng. Then, he said to Mr. Tianji, I have all I need for now. The Fire Zune cultivator sighed. Strong cultivators were offering to give him spells, techniques and surprisingly, he refused. Mr. Tianji wasn't surprised. He smiled and nodded. Lin Feng had probably obtained great treasures in the mysterious world. He had also shown incredible powers so he probably had all that he needed. Alright. Since you don't need anything, I'll gift you a treasure, said Mr. Tianji. In a flash, a sharp and dazzling sword appeared. It seemed like it possessed a soul. Its energy was strange though. When he unsheathing it, 7 dazzling stars appeared, fused together and dashed to the skies. Lin Feng, you also use swords. It's Tianji's sword and it's for you, said Mr. Tianji while removing his godly awareness from the sword and erasing his connection with it. He then handed it over to Lin Feng. Brother, the other leaders were astonished. Mr. Tianji was giving the Tianji sword to Lin Feng. Brother, don't, said Tian Shuzi. He then said, "Brother, that is one of the most sacred treasures of Tianji Peak. The one who owns the sword is the leader of Tianji. How can you gift it to a kid? There's nothing I can't do. I already gave him it now anyways. He's now a descendant of Tianji. Lin Feng, the owner of the sword, can rule over the Tianji Empire. In 1,000 years, if you want to come back, use the sword. If you don't want to come back, give it to you Tianji," said Mr. Tianji slowly. "Tianji has become a holy cultivation place. I have no pressures as a leader anymore. Keeping the Tianji sword with me would be a waste. Lin Feng, I know that you have a demon's sword, but it is too difficult to control right now. Before you manage to completely control the demon's sword, you can use the Tianji sword. Of course, don't use it carelessly so as to not draw people's attention. People are greedy, so you shouldn't rely only on it," said Mr. Tianji to Lin Feng. Lin Feng remained silent and listened to Mr. Tianji. Was Mr. Tianji telling him to leave Tianji? "Take it. You don't belong here. You have to go to Ba Huang and apply to become an imperial cultivation disciple. You will receive treasures from the emperors and become unimaginably strong. It's your destiny," continued Mr. Tianji. Lin Feng looked at the Snow Zune cultivator. The Snow Zune cultivator nodded while smiling and said, "Little Lin Feng, Mo Shi, Yu Yu, Fei Yang, and Huang Fu Long, go and explore the world with him. Just don't forget that Tianji will always be your home. If, someday, you want to come back, you're always welcome." Lin Feng remained silent and looked at the leaders. They all had resplendent smiles on their faces. "Lin Feng, thanks to you, Tianji will flourish. We don't need to worry about the next generations anymore. The Tianji Empire is gigantic, so there will be many children who, someday, can replace us. Don't worry about Tianji anymore. If the next generations are as strong as you, likewise, I'll make them go abroad as well," said the leader of Yaoguang with a big smile. "Indeed, Lin Feng, if you don't want to leave, your teachers will kick your ass. Ha! Come back whenever you want." All the leaders were pushing Lin Feng to leave. Lin Feng's eyes were suddenly filled with tears. He bowed lowly and put his right hand on his heart while saying, "It is an honor for me to be a disciple of Tianji. Tianji will always be my home." Lin Feng raised his hands and took the Tianji sword with both hands. The old men looked at Lin Feng and smiled indifferently. Only Tian Shuzi was upset. Mr. Tianji had given the Tianji sword to Lin Feng. Lin Feng was close to the leaders of Tianji, so Tian Shuzi couldn't say anything. Nobody would listen to him now. Lin Feng. At that moment, Tian Shuzi suddenly spoke up. Lin Feng was surprised and looked at him. "Yes, mister," said Lin Feng indifferently. Everybody was smiling but Tian Shuzi. Now, he was smiling in a weird way. "Lin Feng, there are 7 snowy peaks in Tianji and 6 of them have abstruse qi. Only Tianshu hasn't turned into a holy cultivation place. Now, you are an important person in Tianji, you even have the Tianji sword. Can you please put abstruse energy in Tianshu Peak as well?" Tian Shuzi was making great efforts to smile in the gentlest possible way, but Lin Feng could see that it was all an act. He just wanted abstruse energies for Tian Shu. "I can't," said Lin Feng while shaking his head. "Why can't you? Even though I've been mean to you in the past, you have obtained the Tianji sword. We must forget what happened in the past. Let bygones be bygones," said Tian Shuzi. His facial expression slightly changed. "Since I've been here, you've never been nice. You wanted to expel me from Tianji, you wanted to steal my treasures. Now you want me to help you and give you something," said Lin Feng with a cold smile. "Besides, when the enemies came, you suggested to hand me over and steal my treasures. You kept saying that it was for Tianji. From now on, when you discover incredible geniuses, you can send them to the other peaks so that they can benefit from the holy cultivation areas. That way they won't be poisoned by your ways." Chapter 955, Sky Palace, Arc. Tian Shuzi narrowed his eyes and glared at Lin Feng. No need to talk that way, just say you don't like me and that you don't want to help me. Indeed. You're right, said Lin Feng smiling in a cold way, I am not as magnanimous as you, mister. You've always tried to put me in danger, you didn't care when people wanted to kill me, you wanted to expel me from the sect. Why would I want to help you become stronger? That would be ridiculous. If you give up your status as the leader of Tian Shu and don't go to Tian Shu to practice your cultivation, I will immediately cast the protection spell on Tian Shu with the abstruse energy and turn it into a holy cultivation place as well. Tian Shu's body turned rigid. He was speechless. Give up his status as the leader of Tian Shu. Accept not practicing cultivation in Tian Shu anymore. What did he mean? He hadn't obtained anything and his past was getting back to him. You keep saying everything you do is for Tian Qi and Tian Shu, so what do you have to say now? Said Lin Feng provokingly. Tian Shu's mouth was twitching. He was speechless though. If you can't do it, then shut up. You have no moral values. Tian Shu's people perfectly understand why they haven't obtained the same things as the 6 other peaks, because of you, their leader. You are a bad leader. Please leave now as you are not welcome in Tianxian. Lin Feng declared coldly. Tian Shuzi was furious and upset. Lin Feng was asking him to leave in front of everyone. Alrighty, I'm sure we'll meet again, said Tian Shuzi. He rolled up his sleeves and then left. The other leaders shook their heads. In the vast world of cultivation, some people had no principles. Tian Shuzi had proposed to kill Lin Feng a few times. He had always disliked Lin Feng from the beginning. Now, he wanted Lin Feng to help him. How could that be possible? It was all Tian Shuzi's fault. And because of him, Tian Shu had a disadvantage. Alright. Go and practice cultivation under your teacher's supervision. If you have any question, feel free to ask them. In a month, you're leaving for Ba Huang, said Mr. Tianji to Lin Feng and the others. Lin Feng nodded. They would soon be leaving Ganyu and heading for Ba Huang. Mr. Tianji and the others left. Lin Feng, Tang Yu and the others chose a calm place in the mountain, where the abstruse qi was rich and dense to practice cultivation. The Snow Zun cultivator, the Sword Zun cultivator and the Fire Zun cultivator were there to assist them. They could ask their teachers any questions. June Mo she had recently broken through to the Tian Qi layer. Practicing cultivation was extremely important for them now. They were tired and they needed to practice to recover, but their teachers were very patient. On the path of cultivation, apart from having exceptional understanding abilities, a teacher was incredibly beneficial. Sometimes, alone, it was easy to get confused and to miss some key elements. With a teacher, cultivators could practice cultivation much faster. June Mo she had an immortal spirit and a very strong soul. Now, he had broken through to the Tian Qi layer and possessed a godly awareness. He needed to understand how to use his godly awareness, to learn godly awareness skills and techniques. That was the only way to make his godly awareness become very strong and useful. Yunfei Yang was adept at using the force of the earth and sky, which was one of the Snow Zun cultivator's areas of expertise. The Snow Zun cultivator could help him control these force even better. Half a month passed. Lin Feng was sitting cross-legged in a cave and his eyes were closed. His eyebrows twitched. In his brain, his soul strength was boiling. He had been practicing his broken soul technique. Then he made a palace appear. Godly awareness techniques were even more enigmatic than attacks. There were many ways to use godly awareness. With an ordinary godly awareness technique, it was possible to attack someone's godly awareness directly. The one who was attacked this way usually suffered little, even if the defender's godly awareness was extremely powerful. With a higher level, a cultivator could use his godly awareness to create a sword, a very sharp. Cultivators could use these skills to attack while remaining invisible. Another possibility was to condense an ancient bell, like Lin Feng used to do, with which he could protect his soul. Later on, Yan Di taught Lin Feng a very powerful godly awareness palace technique. Lin Feng learned how to make a godly awareness palace. A palace was much heavier and more powerful than a bell. At that moment, with his current strength, Lin Feng could only make a rudimentary palace. He couldn't make the palace appear, but one could see how powerful it was already. Last time Lin Feng used it, he managed to imprison other people's godly awareness in the palace, and then he made the evil spirit kill his opponent's soul. That was one way to use the palace. According to Cheong Chi, the bigger the palace, the more ways of using it there were. Even without using it for special purposes, it could be used to simply kill opponents by crushing them. Lin Feng made great efforts and wrote things in the palace. He was trying to make his godly awareness palace look clearer and bigger. Cheong Chi had given him a very powerful and complicated technique. Lin Feng needed to study it a lot to use it. A hole appeared between Lin Feng's eyes. He released some soul strength as dazzling lights illuminated the palace. Bzzz, a buzzing sound spread in the air. Beams of light emerged from the hole between Lin Feng's eyes and turned into a jade palace. It was green like jade and looked pure. Lin Feng had only managed to make a small palace. Lin Feng opened his eyes. He could sense the godly awareness strength in the green lights. Cheong Chi had his eyes closed and was lying next to Lin Feng before. But as Lin Feng summoned his palace, he suddenly opened his eyes and inspected it. He was surprised. Lin Feng's soul was abnormally strong for a cultivator of the second Tian Qi layer. He had made a lot of progress. The Sky Palace, what's the date tonight? Cheong Chi seemed like he had thought about something. Lin Feng called back his green palace. Then, he turned to Cheong Chi. What? Cheong Chi saw that Lin Feng had a strange facial expression. He was wondering why he looked so confused. Sky Palace, what's the date today? Where have you heard that before? Asked Lin Feng. Why are you asking that way? Cheong Chi was no curious. Tomorrow, a few hours, drunk and asking the blue sky, Sky Palace, what is the date tonight? Whispered Lin Feng. Cheong Chi was in disbelief. He stood up and asked Lin Feng, how do you know that? I asked you first. Tell me. It's a song from my hometown, so of course I know it, replied Lin Feng. Your hometown? Impossible. You're from Shuiyu. It's just impossible, said Cheong Chi shaking his head. He didn't believe Lin Feng. I'm from Shuiyu. Come on, tell me how you know it. Lin Feng insisted. It's just a coincidence, said Yan Di. He stood up and slowly walked out. It was the evening outside. Yan Di raised his head and looked at the sky. He remembered a long time before, all those strong cultivators, fighting to reach the clouds. Chapter 956, leaving Cheong Chi turned into a human being with red clothes. Lin Feng looked at him. He looked perturbed, which made Lin Feng feel confused as well. Had he sung the Sky Palace song only because he felt nostalgic? Yan Di used to be a great emperor, so he had lots of memories. He slowly walked towards Yan Di and looked at the moon. What's the date tonight? Yan Di, an incredible genius, must have said that song back then. Maybe an emperor, maybe a great emperor, right? Whispered Lin Feng looking at the moon. Yan Di shivered but remained silent. Sometimes, there are enemies whom you respect and admire, even if they ruin your entire life, said Yan Di in a mysterious way. Lin Feng seemed to understand something. It sounded like the one who had ruined Yan Di's life was a very strong cultivator whom he admired. They remained silent for a long time. Cheong Chi turned into a beast again and looked at Lin Feng. I gave you the Godly Awareness Palace technique, go and practice it some more. If someday, you can understand the true meaning of Sky Palace, what is the date tonight, you will look at the whole world with an entirely new perspective. The true meaning. Was that sentence part of an incredible technique? Lin Feng remained silent for a while and went back into the cave. He continued practicing cultivation for a while longer. When practicing, time passed so fast. A month didn't seem that long. At the top of Tianxian, there was a group of young people, Lin Feng and the others. Mr. Tianji, the Snow Zun cultivator and the others were there as well. The most amazing disciples of Tianqi were going to leave together. The old men were happy to see them leave. The next time they saw each other again, those young people would probably be extraordinarily strong. Ba Huang is extremely far. Be careful on the way. There are many strong cultivators abroad, said the Snow Zun cultivator. He looked at Tang Yu and said, Yu, little Lin Feng is impulsive, try to control him when he gets angry. Understood, teacher, said Tang Yu nodding. His teacher understood him very well. If his friends or family members were humiliated, he would attack. But abroad, there were really strong cultivators, especially in Ba Huang province. So he needed to control himself. And what about them? Are you not bringing them? Asked the Snow Zun cultivator pointing at the 7 snow eagles. He had given the 7 snow eagles to Lin Feng to protect him. Lin Feng didn't want to bring them with him though. Nah, I don't want them to be tired. The journey will be an exhausting one, said Lin Feng shaking his head. Lin Feng had enough skills, techniques, plus the animal tower, he didn't need the snow eagles. He didn't want them to be far from home either. Alright, it's your decision, said the Zun cultivator who respected Lin Feng's choice. The Snow Zun cultivator wanted the snow eagles to follow Lin Feng because they might gain something as well, but if Lin Feng didn't want it, then there was nothing he could do. Alright. Go, said the Snow Zun cultivator. He didn't feel like saying goodbye to Lin Feng. He was lucky to have such an astounding disciple, that sort of thing relationship was a once-in-a-lifetime thing. He would probably never see such an incredible disciple again. Alright, nodded Lin Feng. He turned around and left. Let's go, said Lin Feng. Jun Mo Shi and the others looked at Lin Feng from behind and sighed, they bowed to everybody and left. They didn't feel like leaving either. They had good memories in Tianqi. Lin Feng was flying on his great rock. He also had Cheong Qi with him. It seemed like Cheong Qi was excited to move on, his eyes were twinkling. Finally, we're going to start a new life in Ba Huang. I will help you become famous in Ba Huang and beyond, whispered Cheong Qi. A small snowy white animal appeared in Lin Feng's hand, he sat down cross-legged and took her in his arms. She kept licking his face. Meng Qing, I feel so sorry for you, I wish I didn't have to keep you in the animal tower, I need to find you a better home, said Lin Feng in a gentle way while smiling. And once we are in Ba Huang, I will definitely find a way to turn you into a human being again. You will always stay with me then. Meng Qing smiled in a gentle way as if to tell Lin Feng that he was silly. She put her small paw on Lin Feng's cheek and it was adorable. Can I hug her too? Said Tang Yu in a gentle voice. She found Meng Qing too cute so she wanted to hug her. Lin Feng looked at Tang Yu, Meng Qing jumped away from Lin Feng and jumped in Tang Yu's arms. A huge smile appeared on Tang Yu's face. Lin Feng always says his wife is the most beautiful woman in the world. I can't wait to see your human form. You must be extremely beautiful, said Tang Yu. Meng Qing was already extremely cute as an animal, so as a human, she probably looked incredible. Meng Qing turned around and smiled at Lin Feng. Then, she jumped in his arms again. You will love her when you see her as a human being, said Lin Feng smiling at Tang Yu. Xin you liked Meng Qing too. I believe you, said Tang Yu nodding. She couldn't wait to meet Meng Qing in her human form. Together they crossed many countries. Soon, they would be leaving Ganyu. The scenery was amazing in front of them as they arrived in a broad and vast place. Lin Feng. At that moment, Jun Mo Shi called Lin Feng. He acted like he had seen something. What? Lin Feng frowned and gazed into the distance. There were some people who seemed to be waiting for them. Bzzz. Lin Feng's great rock stopped, but they weren't far off. They could clearly see those people. That person had lost one arm and looked incredibly aggressive. Surprisingly, the patriarch of the Xiaoyao sect had been waiting for them all this time. Chapter 957, Destruction and Betrayal. The patriarch of the Xiaoyao sect was there, coldly looking at Lin Feng and the others. Lin Feng looked at him. He was surprised at first, and then he looked calm again and said, Tian Shuzi. The only people who knew Lin Feng and his friends were leaving. Gone. You were the leaders of Tian Qi. The patriarch of the Xiaoyao sect was waiting for him there, so the first person Lin Feng thought of was Tian Shuzi. This time, let's see how you will escape, said the patriarch of the Xiaoyao sect with an evil smile. Last time, Lin Feng had used the talisman with abstruse energies, but Lin Feng couldn't leave behind his friends. Let's go, said Lin Feng. He took a talisman and started moving with incredible speed. Try, said the patriarch of the Xiaoyao sect, throwing himself at Lin Feng and ignoring the others. He could capture the others at any time. Come back. Lin Feng was quick to react. A terrifying energy crashed onto Lin Feng and made him lose balance. Someone was attacking him. Lin Feng stopped moving. His mouth was bleeding. It's you, said Lin Feng. The attacker was Tian Shuzi. The patriarch of the Xiaoyao sect was already behind him as well. It was an ambush. That's for Tian Qi, right? Said Lin Feng to Tian Shuzi. Tian Shuzi smiled coldly. He despised Lin Feng. Tian Qi is not my home anymore. Those old people helped you. Even though you asked me to leave Tian Qi, you made Tian Qi become a bad place. But I bet you hadn't thought that I would get my revenge so soon. You regret what you've done to everyone, right? Said Tian Shuzi. Tian Shuzi, you're the one who should be remorseful, said someone in the sky. Some people appeared from up above. The Snow Zun cultivator, Mr. Tian Ji, the leader of Yaoguang and the leader of Tian Quan. Tian Shuzi turned deathly pale when he saw them. How come they were there? Attack, shouted the patriarch of the Xiaoyao sect furiously. He wanted to attack Lin Feng. Freeze, abstruse ice energy appeared and crashed onto the patriarch's body. He suddenly couldn't move properly anymore. Morning star destruction, an incredible number of stars appeared and condensed, they then turned into a terrifying sword. Arg, the patriarch of the Xiaoyao sect released his godly awareness to attack Lin Feng. However, Mr. Tian Ji stretched out his hand and stars appeared around Lin Feng to protect him. Boom boom boom. A mountain-like godly awareness fell down from the sky, diffusing dazzling golden lights. The patriarch of the Xiaoyao sect was furious. He already knew that he had lost. Who would have thought the old men would come? He didn't even attack, he immediately tried to escape. The Snow Zun cultivator and the others didn't chase him though. If he wanted to escape, with his Xiaoyao agility technique, it would be difficult for them to catch up with him. Instead, they surrounded Tian Shuzi and they looked furious. We are very disappointed, Tian Shuzi, said Mr. Tian Ji. He would have never thought that Tian Shuzi hated Lin Feng so much, to the extent that he would betray Tian Qi and help the patriarch of the Xiaoyao sect kill Lin Feng. Tian Shuzi pulled a long face and looked back at them. You're all so cruel. I waited until we were very far away to try and kill Lin Feng, but you surprisingly followed me all this way. You prefer Lin Feng, someone who's been a member of Tian Qi for only a short time, to me who's been a leader for a long time now. You still don't understand, said Mr. Tian Ji sighing. Tian Shuzi, it's been a long time since you've given up your faith. You've become very selfish. Bullshit. Our world is cruel, who isn't selfish? If you stronger, you wouldn't be the leader of Tian Qi, said Tian Shuzi. Brother, just be straightforward, what do you intend to do with me, the leader of Tian Shu? Those who betray Tian Qi get killed, that's all we can do, said the Snow Zune cultivator. That was one of Tianqi's most important rules, those who betrayed Tianqi were killed. That rule had existed since the creation of the empire. Tianshuzi glanced at him coldly and then at Mr. Tianji, waiting for his final decision. Mr. Tianji remained silent and finally, his lips moved. He finally talked, indeed, those who betray Tianqi are killed, there's nothing else to debate. Tianshuzi had lost all hope. His face turned deathly pale, his lips were twitching. He pointed at Lin Feng and said, for a disciple of Tianxian, you want to kill me, the leader of Tianshu, how cruel. You still don't understand. It doesn't have anything to do with Lin Feng. You, Tianshuzi, betrayed Tianqi, said Mr. Tianji sighing. He wasn't very willing to kill a leader of Tianqi, ha ha ha, bullshit. If you want to kill me, there's no need to talk so much shit, said Tianshuzi, who burst into laughter like a madman. He was going insane under the pressure. Die. Tianshuzi suddenly threw himself at Lin Feng, he knew he was going to die. He couldn't escape from the Snow Zune cultivator, Mr. Tianji and the two others. Dull and stupid, said the Snow Zune cultivator as he released his dazzling mountain-like golden godly awareness. Piss off, shouted Tianshuzi furiously. The mountain-like godly awareness crashed onto his body, making him cough up blood. Freeze, said the Snow Zune cultivator, released ice abstruse energy, freezing Tianshuzi instantly. Kacha! In a flash, the ice started breaking as Tianshuzi tried to resist. I'll come help, sighed Mr. Tianji, condensing sword energies which cut through the statue. Tianshuzi was terrified. Slash, slash, still stuck in the ice cube, Tianshuzi's body was cut in half. Slowly, he stopped breathing and died. Bzzz. The stars around Lin Feng disappeared slowly and Lin Feng hastily said, Teachers, you, Mo Shi. Don't worry, look, said the Snow Zune cultivator, pointing at a group of people behind him. The two other Zune cultivators had protected Tang Yu and the others. The Snow Zune cultivator and the other teachers were incredible. Lin Feng took a deep breath and said, feeling confused, Teacher, are you always secretly protecting me? Mr. Tianji and I had a bad feeling when you left. After you left, we observed Tianshuzi carefully and saw him leave Tianqi in your direction. We knew something could happen, so we followed him. Lin Feng nodded and looked at all his teachers, saying, Thank you for helping me again. Lin Feng, that's all we could do. The patriarch of the Xiaoyao sect escaped. He will probably continue chasing you. You have to be very careful, said Mr. Tianji. The patriarch of the Xiaoyao sect was furious, he had lost an arm in his sect. Now he is insane. I understand. We have to be careful on the road, nodded Lin Feng. Indeed, said the old man while nodding before adding, all right, go. We're going to head back. Lin Feng bowed and jumped back onto his great rock. He would be careful from then on. Chapter 958, Huang Si Ba Huang and Jiu Yu surrounded the holy city. Those places were already at the heart of the continent of the Nine Clouds. There were many strong cultivators there who could kill millions of people in a flash, creating rivers of blood. Those who were weak were bullied and humiliated there. They could only hope to become strong, someday. Ba Huang was a province surrounded by a desolate sea which, in the antiquity, was a battlefield. The death qi in that sea was so intense that it could kill people slowly. The scariest part was that people had to cross it to get into Ba Huang. The energies in that sea didn't affect Zune cultivators though. They could wrap themselves up in abstruse energies and protect themselves. However, cultivators of the Tianqi layer couldn't cross that sea unless they had precious items. The sea had existed for a very long time and people could get lost in that sea forever. Some people had found tricks to navigate it though. Some had used precious treasures and created palaces which could move, thus helping those who couldn't cross the sea on their own. At that moment, there was a lot of abstruse energies above the sea and they were moving very quickly. Of course, one had to pay to cross the sea using those methods. Abstruse crystals weren't cheap. Some people offered services to cross the sea and made a living out of those services. Only rich people or strong cultivators had access to abstruse crystals. There were many people who wanted to enter Ba Huang through the northern entrance at that time. Emperor Shi and Emperor Yu were recruiting imperial cultivation disciples, so people were flocking to their region. A great rock appeared with a few people on its back at the northern entrance as well. A great rock, girls and boys of the first and second Tian Chi layers, nobody even looked at them. Tian level beasts and cultivators who were at the bottom of the Tian Chi layer were incredibly normal. Many geniuses were coming because of Emperor Shi and Emperor Yu's announcement. The great rock landed. Lin Feng and the others had bright and piercing expressions in their eyes. They glanced at the crowd and looked excited. Almost everyone has broken through to the Tian Chi layer, there are very few Xian level cultivators. We're in the real world of cultivation, whispered Huang Fulong, who looked even more excited than the others. Shu, said Lin Feng, glancing at Huang Fulong. Even though people were excited to see strong cultivators, many also felt oppressed and nervous. If other people saw cultivators of the first and second Tian Chi layers, they might kill them out of disdain. Hee, I understand. I won't talk loudly, said Huang Fulong while giggling in a silly way. Some people sometimes passed next to them and glanced at them with disdain. Where did they come from? They had never traveled here before. Let's go and see the Huang Sea, said Lin Feng. The great rock rose up in the air again. They had only stopped for a few days during their trip from Ganyu to the Huang Sea, but they still needed 2 months to arrive. A Tian-level great rock was extremely fast, so it is easy to imagine how far Ganyu was from Ba Huang. After a few minutes, the sea appeared in front of Lin Feng and his friends. That's the Huang Sea. We have to cross it to get to Ba Huang, whispered Lin Feng. How terrifying. They were 5 kilometers away from the sea, but could already sense its desolate qi. Besides the qi, there were also terrifying dead souls in the Huang Sea. They were just waiting to could kill cultivators who crossed the sea. There were also powerful dead spirits, even Zun cultivators would die if they happened to cross them. Therefore, there were very few people who crossed relying on their own strength. Many people just crossed using boats or other services. Look, over there, said Yun Fei Yang. There was a dazzling light in the sky above the sea. The Huang Sea is a strange place. It was a battlefield in the antiquity. So no matter who, people have to be at least 1,000 meters above the sea to avoid getting killed. A sword Zun cultivator. Those who dare cross the sea on their own are rare, and yet, he's one of them. Many people were surprised. Slash, the silhouette streaked across the sky. The sword chi cut through the sky. Lin Feng raised his head and watched the cultivator. What a terrifying sword cultivator, thought Lin Feng. There was even a sonic boom. Those who can cross the sea on their own are terrifying. Indeed, someday, I'll be the same. I'll hold my axe in one hand and cross the sea. That day will come soon, I'm sure, said Huang Fulong, his blood was boiling. He was impatient to become a strong cultivator. He was so happy to be traveling with his friends. You will, said Lin Feng, nodding. He was determined as well. Such a day would come for them all, nobody would be able to defy them anymore. You have no ambition, said Cheong Chi suddenly. The others were surprised. Huang Fulong looked at Cheong Chi and said, Are you bragging again? Do I need to brag? Said Cheong Chi furiously. Alright, I'm used to it anyway, said Huang Fulong, shrugging. Pfff, Cheong Chi spat out some flames. They had argued a lot on the way to Ba Huang. Alright, let's go and find a boatman to cross the sea, said Lin Feng. Cheong Chi and Huang Fulong continued arguing with each other. Chapter 959, Gloomy Clouds. Finding a boatman wasn't difficult, there were many. There was a group of boatmen called Mingyu sailors. They had many different means of transportation and accidents were quite rare with them. Of course, their tariffs were high. Lin Feng and his friends arrived at the Mingyu sailors. They had a huge palace with many boats and plenty of abstruse crystals. Many people were queuing. So many people, thought Lin Feng surprised. There were queues at every counter, sometimes big queues, sometimes small queues. Red copper warships, 10 abstruse crystals, 1,000 people capacity, departure in half a month. Purple and gold warship, 15 abstruse crystals, 800 people capacity, departure in 7 days. Purple jade warship, 20 abstruse crystals, 600 people capacity, departure in 2 days, shouted the vendors. The higher the price, the better the boats were and the sooner people could leave. Red copper warships were of the lowest quality and a ticket only cost 10 abstruse crystals, as it could take up to 1,000 people, that was 10,000 crystals for the entire company. It was expensive to cross the Huang Sea but still, many people didn't mind paying the price. Only those who were extremely strong could cross the sea on their own, after all. Look. That's the best boat there. For that one, we would need to pay 100 abstruse crystals, said Huang Fulong, paying 100 abstruse crystals to get on a boat, what a rip-off. In Ganyu, Zun cultivators didn't even have that much, and usually, Tian-level cultivators didn't even have any. That's the boat protected by Mingyu sailors, Zun cultivators, 99% safe, said the vendor without saying the price. He insisted on safety. Only 100 people could be on that boat though. Who will take that boat, said Jun Mo, she shaking his head. Probably only the richest cultivators. Ordinary people certainly couldn't afford it. It is expensive but safety is important. I heard there are many accidents. Some other companies sell tickets for 2 abstruse crystals, but they don't use many crystals to cross the sea. People who only have a few abstruse crystals usually don't want to take those boats, unless they have absolutely no choice, said Tang Yuyu. The cultivation world was cruel. Rich people had more opportunities than others. Poor people had to take risks. Let's take the purple jade warship. It's 100 abstruse crystals for 5 people and we can leave in just 2 days. It's much faster than the red copper warship, said Lin Feng. He was sad though. He had already used most of his abstruse crystals. He would need to go back into the Jade Emperor's palace again to mine some more. If he didn't have the palace, he would have never had so many abstruse crystals. Many people heard Lin Feng and were astonished. 100 abstruse crystals. They were very young and had only broken through to the first and second Tian Qi layers. How come they had so many crystals? Which group of influence did they belong to? People glanced at them, inspected their age and cultivation levels and let them pass. Even though it was astonishing, they were already not bad, enough to draw people's attention at least. Alright, it's good. We'll go back to the sect and the elders will give us more abstruse crystals. We don't lack abstruse crystals there, said Tang Yuyu, which made Lin Feng laugh. He understood why she was saying that. They had to be careful. If people heard they had so many abstruse crystals, they could be attacked. When Tang Yuyu said that, many people lost interest and looked elsewhere. Disciples from rich sects had good items with them, fighting them wouldn't be that easy. Lin Feng walked to the counter where he could buy purple jade boat tickets. After waiting for a few minutes, he obtained 5 tickets. In 2 days, at noon, wait here. Some people will guide you to the boat, said the vendor who was an old man. Lin Feng nodded and then they left. They left Mingyu sailors and were in a good mood. In 2 days, they would leave and set sail to Ba Huang. Some people are fighting over there, some people were talking. In the distance, dazzling lights were flashing. There was a powerful qi and Lin Feng saw a man with only one arm. Someone had offended him so he was trying to kill that person. Bastard, thought Lin Feng. He immediately turned around and went in the other direction. They were all astonished and followed Lin Feng. The patriarch of the Xiaoyao sect had followed them so far. He's insane, thought Lin Feng and the others. They were such in a good mood a few minutes before and now he had ruined everything. He had chased them from Ganyu to the Huang Sea. He wanted to cross the sea and get to Ba Huang to find them. They quickly left. Someone had made fun of the patriarch of the Xiaoyao sect because he had lost an arm and the patriarch killed them. After that, he frowned as if he had sensed something. They have to cross from here if they want to get to Ba Huang. If I don't see them here within half a month, it means they'll have gone to Ba Huang via another route. Then I'll have to go myself, thought the patriarch of the Xiaoyao sect. The patriarch of the Xiaoyao sect had arrived well before Lin Feng. He had been waiting there the whole time because he knew that Lin Feng had many abstruse crystals. Specifically, that's why he was waiting outside of Mingyu Sailors the whole time. He wanted to kill Lin Feng and his friends and steal Lin Feng's treasures. Lin Feng and his friends found a hotel restaurant. Lin Feng looked terribly annoyed as if he had realized something grave. That old dog is waiting outside of Mingyu Sailors. If he stays there for 2 more days, he'll see us, said Lin Feng annoyed. He hadn't thought they would already encounter problems. Everybody nodded. They thought the same as Lin Feng. If the patriarch of the Xiaoyao sect saw them 2 days later, it would be a problem. Can't we get on the boat immediately when we arrive? Asked Tang Yuyu. Lin Feng remained silent and said, we can try. If it doesn't work, we'll have to give up. Never mind if we waste our abstruse crystals, we can't take risks like that. That's the only way, said everybody. They didn't have any other solution. Losing 100 abstruse crystals would be a pity, but their safety was more important. 2 days passed quickly and just like Lin Feng had predicted, in the distance, someone was fixedly staring at the crowd and looking for something. That was the patriarch of the Xiaoyao sect, of course. He was looking for Lin Feng. Sooner or later, he would find them. Chapter 960, Getting on the boat. Lin Feng inspected the place and saw a boat. It looked like a very ancient boat and it was surrounded by a purple jade color. Lin Feng and his friends weren't far away from the sea and could sense the sea's incredible qi. If they fell into that sea, they'd die. At that moment, they had all changed their faces. Lin Feng had given all his friends a mask, just in case. The best case would be not to see the patriarch of the Xiaoyao sect, but if he was there, at least, he would not recognize them. Many people were waiting and looked excited. Ba Huang would be completely different. Many people had never had the opportunity to cross the sea in their life. Some people invested all they had just to cross. That was a huge risk. After all, they didn't know what kind of life was waiting for them there. Look, the boat is there, said someone pointing at a group of people with purple jade badges. They were the ones who stamped people's tickets. People could get onto the boat only if their ticket was stamped. So many young people. Emperor Shi and Emperor Yu's announcement attracted many people from everywhere in the world. Many people were looking around. There were many strong disciples, but to receive the teachings of an emperor, they were ready to take all the risks. Crossing the Huang Sea was just the start. Many disciples from big sects could only rely on themselves this time, nobody was helping them. The boat emitted rumbling sounds as a long red bridge appeared. It was made of abstruse energy. You can check in now, said one of the employees. The crowd walked towards the bridge to get their tickets stamped and board. Let's go, said Lin Feng and flew over quickly. Mister, we were late because of a problem and couldn't go to Mingyu Sailors. We came here directly, can you let us go on the boat? No, you'll have to wait until next time, said that person coldly. Lin Feng was surprised. Mister, we all changed our tickets, can you make an exception please? The rules are strict. You missed your chance, said that person and then said to the crowd, 7 people missed their chance, who wants to replace them? 20 abstruse crystals. How cruel, thought Lin Feng. They had to get more abstruse crystals too. I want 5 tickets, said Lin Feng grinding his teeth. The patriarch of the Xiaoyao sect wasn't far so they had to leave. I want all 7 tickets, said someone in the distance. The crowd turned around and were surprised. There were women and men, and their leader was a woman with a long blue robe. She looked unrestrained and was very beautiful. Which sect are they from? Thought the crowd. That girl was so beautiful, and her clothes too. She was with very strong cultivators. She was probably an aristocrat. Miss Yang, the one in charge of the tickets, recognized the girl. He looked at her with admiration and respect. The crowd was surprised. Even the strong cultivators of Mingyu sailors looked at her with respect. She probably had a very high social status. I want all 7 tickets, said the girl. But there were 9 people. Miss Yang, you should wait for a few days, suggested the one in charge of the tickets. No, I'm in a rush, said the girl, shaking her head. The employee smiled and said, all right then, that's no problem, please board. No need to pay. No need to pay. Mister, I need 5 tickets though, said Lin Feng hastily. Even if he needed to pay, he had to leave as soon as possible. That person coldly looked at Lin Feng, almost mockingly. The girl was already on the bridge going towards the boat. She turned around and looked at Lin Feng and the others. Then, she said to the employee, the boat can hold 600 people, but it doesn't matter if we have a few more. Let them come on board. The employee was surprised but nodded and said, since Miss Yang gave you that opportunity, please board. Then, he added, you're lucky today. Thank you. Lin Feng nodded and boarded with his friends. The captain of the board, who was at the very front, said, ladies and gentlemen, get ready for departure. The bridge disappeared and an incredible cloud of abstruse energies enveloped the boat. The chi from the sea relentlessly attacked the protection of the boat. Wait, wait, shouted someone in the distance. That person was moving with incredible speed. The crowd looked at that person. Was that person late? One arm but a terrifying chi, a Zun cultivator. Mister, just leave, please, said Lin Feng. It was the patriarch of the Xiaoyao sect. What? The captain looked at Lin Feng. He saw that Lin Feng and his friends had different faces. They were escaping from something. Lin Feng, shouted the patriarch of the Xiaoyao sect. He was staring at him. Lin Feng, don't think I can't recognize you if you change your face, I can even recognize your eyes now. Mister, please, let's go, said Lin Feng. The patriarch of the Xiaoyao sect was getting near. That person looked at Lin Feng indifferently but didn't start the boat. The patriarch of the Xiaoyao sect was moving with incredible speed. Start the boat, said the beautiful woman. The captain nodded and started the boat. Abstruse energies appeared again and enveloped the boat. Stop, shouted the patriarch of the Xiaoyao sect, attacking the boat. The captain frowned but didn't stop. Boom! The boat turned into a beam of light and crossed the water with unimaginable speed. Direction Ba Huang. Chapter 961, Windstorm on the Huang Sea. Very quickly, the boat sailed away while creating huge waves. The patriarch of the Xiaoyao sect released abstruse chi and used the Xiaoyao agility technique to chase the boat. However, the boat was still faster. After a short while, the patriarch of the Xiaoyao sect stopped and watched the boat get farther and farther away. He was furious. Lin Feng had escaped again. Die! Shouted the patriarch of the Xiaoyao sect, furiously releasing an incredible amount of qi. The people in the distance were surprised. How strong! Who had offended a cultivator who could walk on the Huang Sea alone? Luckily, the boat was well protected and much faster. The patriarch of the Xiaoyao sect rolled up his sleeves and went back to the shore. Even if he was strong, he couldn't rely on his strength to cross the sea. It was too dangerous. Many people had died trying. Lin Feng was relieved to see that the patriarch of the Xiaoyao sect couldn't follow the boat. Thank you, said Lin Feng to Miss Yang. If she hadn't asked the captain to leave, he would have waited. That would have been dangerous. It's nothing, really, said the girl indifferently. She then said to Lin Feng, he said you changed your face, why can't I see it? Lin Feng and his friends took off their masks and they looked even younger. What amazing masks! They were extraordinary. What incredible masks, whispered the girl. Surprisingly, she couldn't even see those were masks. Indeed, said Lin Feng smiling. Those masks were indeed incredible. Even strong Zun cultivators couldn't see through it. Lin Feng didn't know how Mr. Xiao had fabricated them. Those masks were probably priceless. The girl didn't say anything. She walked towards the main hall of the boat. Inside the boat, there was a main hall and cultivation rooms. Even on the boat, cultivation couldn't be neglected. For 20 crystals, there had to be some commodities. Lin Feng and his friends were at the front looking at the abstruse qi which enveloped the boat. It was dark and there was a strong wind. It made their hearts beat faster. There was a windstorm on the Huang Sea. A layer of abstruse energy had broke from that wind. Lin Feng wasn't the only one. Many people who took the boat for the first time went to the front to look at the dark clouds. How strong are those who can cross the sea on their own and feel nothing, thought many of the passengers. If someday, they could cross the sea on their own, how wonderful would that be? There's nothing to see, go and rest, said someone. It was the captain of the boat. He was always at the front, after all, he was driving it. Red copper, purple golden or purple jade warships and Mingyu boats were all extremely solid. They had been created by extremely strong cultivators. The boats were powerful, the captains were also very strong cultivators. There's no need to mention that the protection layers made of abstruse qi were also very solid. The captain looked like ordinary cultivator, but in reality, he was monstrously strong. Lin Feng had lots of admiration for the captain. Some people went to the main hall to rest, others went to cultivation rooms. But Lin Feng didn't move, he kept staring at the clouds. How powerful! It made him daydream about intent and cultivation. He remembered that in Shuiyu, cultivators of the Xian Qi layer were already considered strong. In Ganyu or even at the Huang Sea, the Xian Qi layer was considered as a very, very low level. Lin Feng wanted to become stronger. He was never satisfied with his current level. What are you thinking about? Asked the captain to Lin Feng when he saw that his friends and him weren't leaving. He was curious about Lin Feng. Cultivators of the first and second Tian Qi layer, chased by a very strong Zun cultivator. Besides, Lin Feng didn't look at the captain with fear like most people. He just looked normal. But for cultivators of the first and second Tian Qi layers to be so calm and indifferent, were they from aristocratic families? They were probably used to seeing Zun cultivators. He didn't know that Lin Feng had gone through so much. He also didn't understand how Lin Feng felt. Lin Feng had fought against Zun cultivators, he had also received teachings from Zun cultivators, and he had met incredible Zun cultivators. So of course, Lin Feng remained calm when facing Zun cultivators nowadays. I am just wondering what it would be like if there wasn't that layer of protection, whispered Lin Feng. Shut your crow's beak and don't make inauspicious remarks, said that person furiously. He looked terribly scared. Surprisingly, cultivators of the first and second Tian Qi layers dare say such things. Do you know that even the strongest of Zun cultivators can die in that sea? Please don't be angry, I didn't think before talking, said Lin Feng smiling. A Zun cultivator criticizing him because he was just a Tian level cultivator was normal. Lin Feng was already used to that. That person groaned coldly and didn't say anything anymore. Time seemed to pass slowly on the boat. The crowd couldn't see the sky or anything, they were just surrounded by dark clouds. It seemed like a thunderstorm could start up at any time. The sky was becoming darker and darker, almost apocalyptic. The wind was emitting whistling sounds. But, the protection layers were still protecting the boat through it all. The captain of the boat wasn't happy to see that storm. Damn storm. He glanced at Lin Feng coldly and said, I hope you didn't bring bad luck to us, otherwise. Then, he glanced at the crowd and said, everybody go to the main hall and don't come out. No matter what, don't come out. You go too, said the captain to Lin Feng and his friends. Many people looked terrified when they heard the captain. It was a storm. Many people started talking while walking back to the main hall. They were terrified. It was a well-known fact that storms on the Huang Sea were very dangerous. It was also Mingyu sailors' biggest fear. Storms on the Huang Sea were the most frequent cause of accidents. People could only pray that everything would be all right. Chapter 962, Island of the Nine Dragons. Lin Feng and his friends realized what was going on because everybody on the boat was whispering. They were all scared because of the captain's reaction. Arg! At that moment, someone shouted furiously. The black clouds were attacking the boat and making it shake violently. How scary. The patriarch of the Xiaoyao sect's attacks aren't that scary, thought Lin Feng. They were crossing a windstorm and loud sounds were piercing their ears. It's a dead spirit. Lin Feng saw a pair of terrifying eyes. According to the legends, the Huang Sea was a battlefield in the past and many people had died there. Go in, shouted the captain of the boat to Lin Feng and the others. The boat was rocking now. Look, said Lin Feng, shaking his head. He then added, go to the main hall. I'm coming in 5 minutes. I want to look too, said Huang Fu Long, whose eyes were twinkling. He was getting excited because of the storm. A strong cultivator next to them frowned. Those people wanted to watch the storm. As you wish, said that person, releasing abstruse chi. Boom. A terrifying abstruse energy crashed onto the protection layer. That person groaned and his chi moved back to him. What a disaster, said that person. The storm was terrifying. The sky was getting darker and darker. The boat couldn't go back now that they were in the middle of the storm. It seemed like many dead souls were wailing all around them. Woo! The sky turned pitch black. Lin Feng only saw a huge mouth attempting to swallow the boat. Boom boom boom, the boat shook violently. Rumbling sounds spread in the air as the abstruse energy had started to crack. Lin Feng and his friends were almost knocked off their feet. Many people were terrified. Was the boat going to sink? Are we going to die? Thought Lin Feng. He wouldn't have thought that sailing on the Huang Sea could be so scary. If the storm broke the boat, they would probably die. The atmosphere was pitch black and they couldn't see anything anymore. Lin Feng, said someone. It was Tang Yuyu. Yes, replied Lin Feng. More rumbling sounds spread in the air as Lin Feng was propelled elsewhere. Are we going to die? Asked Tang Yuyu. Lin Feng remained silent. Were they? He didn't know either. Don't worry. The abstruse energy is solid enough, said Jun Mo Shi. Right. We're going to Ba Huang so we can't die here. Lin Feng shouted, Fei Yang, Huang Fu Long, talk to us. I'm good, said Yun Fei Yang. Damn weather, we can't see anything, said Huang Fu Long. That guy was funny. The storm continued. If the protection layer broke, they'd die. After what seemed like a long time, the storm calmed down. And everyone felt relieved. Finally, they saw a light. Lin Feng looked back at the storm. It felt like a dream. Finally, though, it was calming down again. Lin Feng raised his head. The abstruse protection layer looked brighter. There were some cracks in it. If there was another storm, it would definitely break. Lin Feng turned around and saw Tang Yuyu and the others. They smiled back at him. Lin Feng smiled too. They hadn't thought that they would go through a storm like that. The captain frowned, turned around and walked towards the crowd. He went to the beautiful girl and said, Miss Yang, you must have been scared. The girl shook her head and said, it's all right. I know your boats are solid. Just be careful. All right. I understand, said the captain nodding. The boat couldn't go through another storm like that. The crowd was surprised. The first thing he did after the storm was apologize to the girl. Who was she? The boat continued moving. At some point, something appeared. It looked like a wide territory. The chi of the Huang Sea was dashing to the skies in the distance. What was going on? Another storm? The captain looked tense. Black dots appeared in the horizon and they were very fast. Very quickly, they saw what those black dots were. They were ships on the sea. 5-6 boats were moving together and towards them. The captain of the boat was surprised. In a flash, they surrounded the boat. Dear friends, we are from the island of the 9 dragons, we mind our own business and you mind your own, said the captain. The Huang Sea was vast. There were some people who practiced cultivation on some islands. They had become extremely strong with time. They practiced cultivation in the middle of the Huang Sea and stole treasures mainly. People from the island of the 9 dragons were pirates and they were extremely strong. You can leave, we just want your boat, said someone rudely. What was going on? After the storm, pirates? If you want my ship, you can go to Mingyu sailors and get one, said the captain. He was annoyed too. How unlucky was it to encounter pirates? Those pirates were strong and didn't fear Mingyu sailors. Bullshit. Fuck off, said that person. Some silhouettes rose up in the air and released abstruse chi. They were all Zun cultivators. You didn't come for the boat, right, said the captain. So many strong cultivators were there, it was obviously not for the boat. Chapter 963, Survival, Attack, said a pirate when he saw that the captain wasn't reacting. His chi was terrifying. The captain made the boat turn around. Huge waves rolled as he tried to escape. You want to escape, said a pirate with an ice-cold smile. There were other boats which had surrounded them. Besides, those boats were gigantic. Some more people rose up in the air and they were also Zun cultivators. The captain looked hopeless. More Zun cultivators. The pirates had so many Zun cultivators. Miss Yang was surrounded by her bodyguards. They were staring at the Zun cultivators coldly. Today, we're very unclucky, said the captain. He understood what was going on. After the storm, their boat was riddled with gaping wounds, their abstruse energy was weakened. Now, many strong cultivators appeared, so he couldn't protect the people on board. The pirates all released chi at the same time and attacked the protection layers of the boat. Dazzling lights appeared and the protection layers emitted crackling sounds. We're doomed, thought the crowd. The protection layers were breaking apart. There were fissures everywhere. Kacha, another sound spread in the air. The abstruse energy continued breaking. Some deadly chi from the sea started penetrating into the boat. We'll give you one chance. If you're strong enough, come onto our boat and you'll live, said the pirates to the crowd. They were giving the crowd a chance to live. Relying on their own strength, they had to get onto their boat, but only if they could. If they wanted to live, they had to get onto the pirates' boat. That was their only chance, otherwise they would die suffocating from the chi of the sea. Boom, a silhouette turned into a beam of light and moved towards the boat. They wanted to go to Ba Huang, how could they die there? Bzzz, the terrifying chi surrounded that person, his skin was suddenly peeled off by the chi from the sea. The crowd suddenly looked desperate. That chi could destroy almost anything. That person died in the air and fell down from the sky into the sea. The crowd was horrified, their hearts were pounding. That person hadn't even survived a single second outside. The distance between the two boats was ridiculously small, so close yet so far. Die. Someone else stepped out and turned into a sword. Boom. The chi of the sea surrounded that person and his skin was peeled off. No, shouted that person. Something was piercing through his body. Then, he died. The crowd was hopeless. They were doomed. The captain rose up in the air, wrapped himself up in abstruse energy and left. The strong cultivators from the island of the 9 dragons didn't prevent him from leaving. They didn't look at him. He wasn't their target. He left, the crowd was speechless. The Zun cultivator of Mingyu sailors left. He had left them alone, facing the pirates. Miss Yang, we won't do anything against you, of course. Please come onto our boat, said one of the pirates. People were astonished. The pirates wanted Miss Yang. Because of her, they had to go through such hardships. Lin Feng, Tang Yu and the others were panicking. They had survived the storm and now it seemed really difficult to cross that sea. I'm taking you to the island of the 9 dragons. Hold on and don't panic. We'll see each other in Ba Huang, said Lin Feng. His friends were astonished. What? What about him? What about you? What are you going to do? Said Tang Yu. What was Lin Feng's plan? Don't worry. I won't die. We already agreed to meet in Ba Huang. I will become an imperial cultivation disciple under Emperor Shi or Emperor Yu's supervision, so remember to come and see me, said Lin Feng, using telepathy this time. They understood that he was trying to transmit them a message. He meant that they definitely had to become imperial cultivation disciples to find him. No. You have no way to survive. I'm staying with you, said Tang Yu. She didn't believe Lin Feng. Lin Feng wouldn't bring them to the island of the 9 dragons if he really had a way to survive. He would stay with them. Unless Lin Feng wanted to go on an adventure. No, said Lin Feng, shaking his head. Tang Yu and his friends didn't understand. Lin Feng, you can't go on an adventure alone, said Jun Mo Shi. I have no choice. Listen to me. Believe me, said Lin Feng firmly. Jun Mo Shi and his friends shook their heads. Lin Feng stretched his hand and touched Tang Yu's cheek, smiling, and said, Don't worry. I won't die. Boom, a terrifying energy appeared. A group of people rose up in the air. Lin Feng raised his head and saw Miss Yang escaping with a lifeboat. A lifeboat, the crowd was astonished. How could she escape with a lifeboat? Miss Yang, you can't escape, said a pirate releasing sealing energies. No, I don't want to die, a horrible shriek spread in the air. The crowd looked at the chi of the sea getting into the boat now. Some people had died and turned into ashes. The crowd was hopeless. Were they going to die? Ice appeared and it started snowing. Lin Feng released Ling Long's chi. In a flash, he looked like an animal with very pure energy. Empty space bestial illusion technique, said Lin Feng. Layers of snow appeared around him, and a snowy landscape appeared. I'm taking you to the boat using that snowy road, trust me, you won't die. Lin Feng told the crowd as a snowy empty space appeared. The crowd was astonished as they looked at Lin Feng. That guy could help people get onto the pirate's boat. Just trust me, you will be safe, said Lin Feng indifferently. Chapter 964, Stuck. The snowy path looked like an illusion. Could they really get to the pirate's boat using that path? They were skeptical and hesitated. If you don't go, I'll cancel the spell and you'll die, said Lin Feng coldly when he saw that the crowd was hesitating. If they didn't get on that boat, they would die. Let me try, said someone stepping on the snowy path. That person felt extremely cold, but still he looked fine and happy. He realized that the chi of the Huang Sea wasn't affecting him. After all, it was its own world. That person arrived on the boat and left the illusion. Boom, boom. People suddenly starting running frantically towards the pirate's boat. They could safely get to the boat thanks to Lin Feng's snowy path. Hurry up, said Lin Feng to Tang Yu and his friends when he saw people weren't hesitating anymore. Hurry up, shouted Lin Feng furiously. Some people grinded their teeth and said, see you in Ba Huang. A few more people walked onto the snowy path, followed by many others. The pirates looked at Lin Feng and frowned. A trivial cultivator of the second Tian Qi layer knew illusion spells. That guy was interesting. Interesting, little boy, get on the boat as well, one of the pirates told Lin Feng. The pirates were interested in Lin Feng, maybe he had great treasures. Suddenly, though, the snowy path suddenly changed and was now leading inside the Huang Sea. Little boy, what are you doing? Asked a pirate coldly to Lin Feng. Lin Feng didn't say anything and ran into the snowy tunnel which ran into the Huang Sea. What are you doing? The Zun cultivator's face changed drastically. He raised both hands and released magnetic energies to try and make Lin Feng come to him. But Lin Feng was now in the Huang Sea. Huge waves appeared as Lin Feng disappeared into the depths of the sea. Lin Feng, shouted Tang Yu whose face turned deathly pale. Her heart hurt. Lin Feng had jumped into the sea and hadn't followed them. Don't worry. Lin Feng told us we would meet him in Ba Huang, but he certainly has a long way to get there on his own, said Jun Mo Shi looking at the inauspicious waves of the Huang Sea as if trying to cheer himself up. That terrifying sea could destroy abstruse energies and Lin Feng was inside. What was going to happen? They still felt sad. Could a cultivator of the second Tian Qi layer survive in that sea? What a strange little boy, he doesn't even care about his own life, said the Zun cultivator looking at the sea. He hadn't expected Lin Feng to kill himself. Lin Feng was in the sea now and could clearly see what was going on around him. The qi of the Huang Sea was emitting extremely loud and ferocious sounds. Many dead spirits were probably coming to kill him. The snowy tunnel was slowly getting corroded by the qi of the Huang Sea. But a bright light flashed and Qiong Qi appeared. Yen Di, we're in the depths of the Huang Sea, do you know how we can survive? Asked Lin Feng. Qiong Qi pulled a long face and spat out qi from frustration. You idiot, that sea used to be a battlefield in the past. Even emperors can't necessarily survive in here, said Qiong Qi. Lin Feng was surprised. It wasn't guaranteed that emperors could survive in here either. It's useless to shout at me now. You need to hurry and find a solution because I can't hold on much longer, said Lin Feng. Lin Feng had actually dived into that sea for two reasons, the first one was his Jade Emperor's palace. If he had no choice, he would go into the palace and practice cultivation there. He would then be able to come out after a few years. That wasn't the most desirable solution though. The second reason was Qiong Qi. He knew many skills and techniques and might know how to save him. You want to exhaust me to death, don't you? Said Qiong Qi to Lin Feng. Then, he said, tell me what's going on up on the surface. We met some pirates, they attacked our abstruse energy protection layers and the dangerous qi of the Huang Sea penetrated into the boat. They wanted to capture a girl, said Lin Feng to Qiong Qi hastily. Give me some more of your abstruse crystals. The rest is in the hands of fate, said Qiong Qi. Lin Feng gave all his abstruse crystals Qiong Qi. He had none left now. Qiong Qi started drawing marks around them, very clear and distinct marks. He was using the strength of the abstruse crystals, but he was still too weak. He couldn't draw those marks relying on his own strength yet. Very quickly, a light appeared and turned into a tunnel. However, Qiong Qi didn't stop. He continued using all the crystals. Inside the snowy tunnel, a new way appeared. Come, shouted Qiong Qi to Lin Feng. Lin Feng followed him into the light tunnel. He was wondering what Qiong Qi had done. You can walk back and forth in that tunnel, all we can hope for now is to encounter a boat. That tunnel can neither take you out of the sea nor to Ba Huang. Everything depends on luck, said Qiong Qi. Lin Feng was stupid sometimes, he jumped into the sea, did he want to die? Okay, hope we'll be lucky, said Lin Feng. Qiong Qi was so annoyed. Lin Feng remained calm and indifferent. Lin Feng had Xiong Qi go back into the animal tower and then stopped using his snowy illusion spell. He started walking back and forth in the tunnel made of abstruse energies. Lin Feng couldn't breathe properly because of the thickness of the abstruse energies. He walked back and forth for a long time until rumbling sounds spread in the air. He then made the tunnel go higher up to the surface. That way, he would have more chances to be noticed. The qi of the sea kept corroding the tunnel but couldn't reach Lin Feng yet. Lin Feng looked around, he felt so small. "I hope I will be lucky," whispered Lin Feng. There were 3 more months before the beginning of Emperor Shi and Emperor Yu's recruitment process. Lin Feng hoped his friends could manage to leave the island of the 9 dragons and that he could safely get out. The sea was extremely vast and Lin Feng was all alone there. Luckily, there was no storm, otherwise, the tunnel wouldn't be able to protect him for much longer. Chapter 965, Desolate Qi. The Huang Sea was extremely vast and the only way to get to Ba Huang province was to cross that sea. Even though there were many sailors, the sea was so vast that it was still rare to encounter boats. Therefore, Lin Feng kept running back and forth, looking for a boat. The qi of the Huang Sea was slowly corroding his light tunnel made of abstruse energies. Lin Feng gazed into the distance. He felt hopeless. Was he going to be lucky this time? Slash, a subtle sound spread in the air. Lin Feng saw a black dot in the horizon. Lin Feng's silhouette flickered as he moved toward direction. However, the black dot almost disappeared instantly. That person was a lot faster than him. How fast? It must be an incredible cultivator, thought Lin Feng. That was what power looked like. That person didn't need to rely on external factors, that kind of cultivator was fearless. Their own strength was enough to cross the sea. Lin Feng tried to chase that person anyway. Besides, that strong cultivator crossed the sea on his own, so he probably knew the surroundings quite well. But Lin Feng wasn't fast enough. That person disappeared in the horizon and he was alone again. At that moment, Lin Feng was surprised. Lin Feng saw a place. It was an island, more precisely. I hope I can survive on that island. Lin Feng threw himself in the direction of the island. It appeared that there was nobody on that island. The air wasn't fresh at all, but it was incredibly vast. There was no grass and no trees. It looked like an island of death. The lights around him disappeared as he looked at the horrible qi surrounding him. If Lin Feng stayed on that island for too long, that qi would make him grow old at an accelerated rate, or maybe even kill him. Lin Feng walked farther away from the beach to a more central place. The qi of the Huang Sea was weaker there. But at that moment, a qi from the sea appeared again. What's going on? Lin Feng was surprised. How could there be qi from the Huang Sea in the middle of the island? He looked around curiously. Lin Feng walked in a direction where the qi was more intense. That Huang Sea qi was becoming even purer. In the middle of the sea, the qi wasn't that pure, as if polluted. It could peel people's skin off and make them grow old instantly. However, the qi there wasn't the same, it didn't seem polluted. It was extremely old and pure, and quite powerful. What is that qi? Why is it so pure, thought Lin Feng. He didn't want to get close too fast, so he decided to walk slowly. That qi was making him grow older and Lin Feng could feel it. On top of that, the feeling was becoming more intense. Finally, Lin Feng found the source of the qi far away from the shore. At that moment, Lin Feng's heart started pounding violently. What? That's him. Lin Feng saw someone sitting cross-legged and calmly practicing cultivation. That was probably the person Lin Feng had seen just before, the strong cultivator. Some people practiced cultivation in the middle of the Huang Sea. That person was practicing cultivation there and using the qi of the Huang Sea to make it become his own. How powerful, thought Lin Feng. He was surprised to see that. He didn't know it was possible. That was the difference between strong and weak cultivators. Weak cultivators feared the sea. However, some people came there to practice cultivation. Lin Feng also noticed that there were trees around the cultivator and that they were pretty much alive. They were slowly growing with his qi. What kind of tree are those? Thought Lin Feng. Even though they were growing and becoming older, they were getting a lot stronger too. It seemed that the strong cultivator was doing that on purpose. Those trees were probably had a purpose. Lin Feng thought about the demoniac Buddha. The 3 lives demon emperor had turned into both a Buddha and a demon in the Death Valley and had practiced cultivation for centuries. Was that strong cultivator doing something similar? Lin Feng was wondering how strong that cultivator was. He was motionless and his qi was rising. It was as if he were all alone. Lin Feng standing right next him didn't even exist. That kind of cultivator didn't care about worldly affairs. As long as worldly matters didn't affect him, he didn't care. The qi was getting too intense. Lin Feng could even feel that he, himself, was growing old. He couldn't help but move backwards and get farther away. Lin Feng couldn't stand the qi produced by the strong cultivator. If that cultivator had used it on Lin Feng directly, Lin Feng wouldn't have been any better off swimming in the sea. Lin Feng went very far away so that the qi couldn't affect him. Lin Feng could only wait for a boat to pass. How annoying. Could he do anything else in the meantime? That person can understand the qi of the sea, why couldn't I? If I did too, couldn't I cross the sea without being affected by its qi? Thought Lin Feng. How great would that be to cross the sea on his own? However, with his cultivation level, it would take many, many years. Lin Feng took out his animal tower and had Cheong Chi come out. Cheong Chi whispered, "You're quite lucky to have found an island." Lucky? Lin Feng was so annoyed. I'm stuck on that island. How long will we be stuck here? That's not luck. Besides, I can sense the qi of the sea here too, it's slowly killing me. Cheong Chi said, "At least, your death won't be as painful as in the sea itself." Is there no solution? Asked Lin Feng. Wait for a boat. Maybe 10 years, maybe 100 years. Even if you meet someone, they won't necessarily be willing to take you. If I understand the qi of the sea, could I cross myself? Asked Lin Feng. Cheong Chi was surprised. Understand the qi of the sea? With the strength of the second Tian Qi layer? Cheong Chi had seen lots of things in his life, including miracles. He remained silent and asked himself if Lin Feng could possibly understand the qi of the sea. Chapter 966, Forbidden to Human Beings. The sea had existed for a very long time, hundreds of years before Cheong Chi even. He also had problems with the sea, but then he had become stronger and the sea wasn't a problem for him anymore. However, one thing was sure, he had never heard of anyone who wasn't at least a Zun cultivator who could cross the sea. Only Zun cultivators could understand the qi of the sea, Tian level cultivators weren't capable. Impossible, said Cheong Chi. Lin Feng was sad as he said, "How can I know if I don't try?" "Give it a try then. I'm going to have a walk around. Be careful. There is a very strong cultivator practicing cultivation over there using abstruse Huang Si energy." "Don't make him angry," warned Lin Feng. "There's someone." Cheong Chi was surprised. "Why don't you ask him to take us away?" "I can't interrupt him while he's practicing cultivation." "Why would he help us anyways?" whispered Lin Feng. He understood death energy, so Lin Feng couldn't get too close. Humph. Cheong Chi went away. He was annoyed too. If the other cultivator was too strong, he couldn't deal with him either. Even if they tried to convince him by proposing to give him treasures or something, maybe he would just kill them and steal their treasures. That was normal in the continent of the 9 clouds, especially seeing how there was nobody else on the island. He could kill them like ants, Was it safe for them to say they had precious treasures? Lin Feng sat down cross-legged far away from the sea. He could only rely on himself right now. Desolate qi appeared around him. Lin Feng felt very uncomfortable. He just tried to understand the qi without using any spell, technique or skill. Hopefully, he could manage to understand something. He took out his Tian Xian stone and released some energies. The strength of the earth and sky emerged and it was very bright. Lin Feng could understand the qi of the sea even better this way. After all, the desolate qi was also a sort of energy from the earth and the sky, it was just that it was a dead qi here. When I use my spirit and the Tian Xian stone, I perceive things much better. Maybe I'll sense the desolate qi more distinctly too, thought Lin Feng. He took out his celestial book spirit which, with the Tian Xian stone, removed the polluted energies from the air around him and bright lights appeared. A mysterious qi appeared in the unpolluted atmosphere. There was desolate qi in that mysterious qi and it looked black. Desolate qi. His spirit allowed him to see the qi much better. With his Tian Xian stone, he could even alternate using his demon seal stone. Now, he was using it to see the desolate qi. His Tian Xian stone was making things appear much more clearly. Desolate strength. Lin Feng realized that the black qi contained desolate strength, it was deadly, corroding, it could even make living beings grow old in a flash and swallow them whole. If a cultivator used that kind of energy, he could almost become invincible. Lin Feng remained extremely calm as he studied the energies. The Tian Xian stone could help him understand natural energies. His spirit could also help him see things clearly and understand things faster. Those two things together were incredibly powerful. The desolate qi kept rising. Lin Feng was still sitting cross-legged on a stone while being corroded by the desolate qi. At the same time, Lin Feng could also release small and weak trails of desolate qi. He was using pure qi to release the desolate qi. However, his desolate qi wasn't as pure as the natural one. Maybe he could use his desolate qi to fight but not to prevent the pure qi from the sea from harming him. Lin Feng opened his eyes, not willingly but because something went wrong. Desolate qi suddenly started corroding his body even more, his pure qi became chaotic. It was still too dangerous for him to practice using that energy. That person can use the desolate qi and turn it into abstruse energy, but I can't. After all, he's much stronger than me. I can't understand abstruse energies either. Our cultivation level is too different, thought Lin Feng sighing. He could release tiny bits of desolate qi but it was far from being enough to cross the sea. Lin Feng was only a weak cultivator at the bottom of the Tian qi layer. I told you, it's impossible for you to only rely on your strength to cross the sea. If it were possible, it would be beyond a miracle, said Qiong Qi. Lin Feng was only a Tian-level cultivator, he couldn't cross the sea on his own. Lin Feng and Qiong Qi turned around and saw a black dot move towards the Huang Sea which then disappeared. He's gone. Lin Feng was sad. That cultivator came to the island to practice cultivation. He could come and leave as he wished. Let's go and see, said Lin Feng while moving towards the place where the cultivator had been practicing. After a few minutes, they arrived where the cultivator was practicing cultivation. He had taken the trees too. He probably used them for some kind of benefit. He's gone, said Qiong Qi. He then added, I'm taking you somewhere else. Somewhere else? Lin Feng was surprised. Where could they go on that island? There was nothing. Indeed, follow me, said Qiong Qi. He turned around and left. Lin Feng skeptically followed him. There was a valley with a horrible death energy. There were many holes in that valley so Lin Feng was even more skeptical. What place was that? He was curious though and continued following Qiong Qi. They moved towards a big cave which had black stones inside. Qiong Qi grabbed a black stone and shook it, suddenly, a hole appeared inside that stone. It wasn't a door but a cave in which an animal shape appeared. Is that a portal? Whispered Lin Feng. What kind of place was that? How had Qiongqi found it? Let's go inside and see. The island has existed for a very long time, it is not the first time that someone has come here, said Qiongqi. Lin Feng entered the dark cave. There was no light, but as a fairly strong cultivator, Lin Feng could still see inside. There was a wall with words written on it. Apart from animals, nobody can enter, otherwise they'll die. Lin Feng read. Only strong animals could enter. That cave was created artificially with mysterious marks. It was probably created by an animal which can fly, said Qiongqi. An animal, mysterious marks. It was probably a Zune-level beast. Chapter 967, Bestial Consciousness, What's inside? Asked Lin Feng. I don't know. I didn't go in, said Qiongqi shaking his head. Are you scared to die? Said Lin Feng laughing. Surprisingly, Qiongqi hadn't gone inside. A Zune-level beast had probably written that so only animals would go in. Bullshit, you're humiliating me. I don't care about a cave made by a feudal animal, shouted Qiongqi furiously. An animal had created that cave with mysterious marks, so he was probably very strong. Nobody knew how dangerous it could get inside. Let's go in then, said Lin Feng smiling. Let me go first then, said Qiongqi coldly glancing at Lin Feng. Even though he knew Lin Feng was provoking him, he couldn't help but go inside because of his pride. Lin Feng followed him. They arrived in front of the wall with the mysterious marks. Qiongqi put his paws on the wall, lights appeared and rumbling sounds spread in the air. The wall moved aside and a terrifying deadly qi emerged. Lin Feng looked inside, it was extremely vast but still very dark. There were even corpses on the ground. Many people had died inside, very strong cultivators. Otherwise, they wouldn't have managed to open the door using the mysterious marks. Those strong cultivators were dead though. Lin Feng and Qiongqi glanced at each other. Should we go in or not? Asked Lin Feng. Those strong cultivators had died inside. Wasn't it too dangerous for a Tian-level beast and a cultivator of the second Tian-Qi layer? Since we're here already, it would be a pity not to go further, said Qiongqi. Get ready to use your illusion technique. I also have some protection spells. If something feels wrong, we can leave immediately. He has some secret protection spells which he has hidden from me, thought Lin Feng. I will help you, but I don't care about a feudal Zune-level beast, said Qiongqi while roaring. Lin Feng laughed and got ready to use Ling Long's holy celestial qi just in case. Let's go in, said Lin Feng. He was still extremely curious. It was an ancient cave in the middle of the Huang Sea, maybe there were precious treasures inside. Qiongqi was right, they had to go in, otherwise Lin Feng couldn't survive. There has been some very powerful corrosive energies in here, said Qiongqi looking at the skeletons. It almost seemed like they had been polished clean. Many have also turned into ashes, said Lin Feng. Look over there, said Qiongqi showing him a corpse. That corpse still had flesh but it was rotting. Desolate energy, Lin Feng was surprised. It seemed like that person had died from the qi of the Huang Sea. Lin Feng and Qiongqi found out that there were fewer skeletons as they walked further in. There were even more ashes. Look over there, said Qiongqi with a serious tone. Lin Feng turned his head and saw a gigantic skeleton with wings. That's a beast. Had that beast written the words at the entrance? Why would that beast have died then? A blue jade phosphorus Maharaga, said Qiongqi. That beast had wings and looked like a dragon. Its bones shone like phosphorus. Is it very strong? Asked Lin Feng. It is very strong, a Zune-level beast, but how did it die here? Qiongqi was surprised. They continued walking but the air was becoming even worse. Desolate qi. Lin Feng saw some very powerful desolate qi. Empty space bestial illusion technique, shouted Lin Feng suddenly. Qiong Qi and Lin Feng were instantly surrounded by snow. That qi was coming from everywhere. Luckily, it didn't have time to reach them. That desolate qi then disappeared again as if it had never appeared. That qi can sense our qi. So when we're in this small world, it can't anymore. That would explain why it disappeared, said Qiong Qi. He also had time to see where the qi came from. It came from a hole. Bestial consciousness. Qiong Qi was astounded. He understood why the Zun-level beast had died. Bestial consciousness? What's that? Asked Lin Feng. After cultivators break through to the Tian Qi layer, they can use their godly awareness and condense it. In the case of beasts, it's different, they rely on bestial consciousness which contains their most fundamental strength. You've probably never seen really strong animals. When they condense their bestial consciousness, it can be terrifying. That Maharaja absorbed desolate qi with his bestial consciousness, said Qiong Qi. Humans and animals were different. Humans used godly awareness and pure qi. Animals used bestial qi and bestial consciousness. Lin Feng understood a little bit. There were some holes in the bones of the Maharaja. Can animals have several bestial consciousness? Indeed. The stronger they are, the more bestial consciousness they can have. That Maharaja absorbed almost all the desolate qi of the cave, that's insane, said Qiong Qi nodding. Lin Feng, stop using your illusion spell, I'll release animal qi and we'll see what it does then, said Qiong Qi. Lin Feng nodded and did so with the utmost vigilance. Qiong Qi released bestial qi which enveloped both him and Lin Feng. The desolate qi didn't appear again. As expected, it didn't attack animals, it only attacked humans. Unfortunately, not many animals come here so no animal has found this place, whispered Lin Feng. Lin Feng and Qiong Qi continued on. They walked towards that gigantic Maharaja. Lin Feng noticed strange marks. The skeleton was shining, it was bluish-green like jade. It kept twinkling, as an illusion appeared. That's a person's silhouette filled with bestial energies. Those eyes looked cruel and sanguinary. That was probably the human form of the Maharaja. Back then, in the restricted area of the Zijin mountain, Lin Feng had encountered such an animal and it was a Zun-level beast. He had died but had left his legacy behind. Chapter 968, Insane creatures think alike, young boy, you're lucky to be able to meet me, said the animal. Humans always consider themselves as better beings than animals, but I don't agree. That desolate qi can destroy human beings. No human can swallow desolate qi. However, I did it. It became my own energy. I don't fear the Huang Sea because it can't affect me at all. I can even swim in that sea. Apart from me, those who can cross that sea are human Zun cultivators who rely on their own strength to cross it. But they can't manage it like me, said the Zun-level beast in a despising way. As expected, he's insane. Imagine that, he can swallow the desolate qi of the Huang Sea, whispered Qiong Qi. But he's just a feudal beast. Even I don't dare act so arrogant. Lin Feng glanced at Qiong Qi. Did he want to die there? Lin Feng looked at the Zun-level beast. I could absorb all the qi, but it disrupted my energies. My bestial consciousness stopped functioning properly as I brought about my own destruction, said the Maharaja becoming more gentle. He knew that he had made a mistake. The desolate qi destroyed my bestial consciousness. I lost my self-awareness but I need someone to transmit my knowledge to, especially what I learned about the desolate qi, said the beast proudly. But, in the end, I managed to swallow the desolate qi and couldn't control it. Therefore, my offspring will have to empty its bestial consciousness to absorb the desolate qi so that it doesn't mix with anything else. Insane, what an insane ability, thought Qiong Qi. Absorbing the desolate qi to replace one's own qi. He was insane. No wonder he had died there. But Qiong Qi also thought that the beast had done more than others because he had dared to do what others hadn't. He had actually absorbed the desolate chi and made it his own. Giving up one's own energies and replacing them with the desolate chi. That beast had died because he had played with incredibly dangerous powers. That chi wasn't easy to absorb. A strong Zune-level beast had died because of it even. Thank me, for I am giving you an unprecedented opportunity. If you succeed, you'll manage to use the desolate chi and could destroy many people. Of course, if your bestial consciousness isn't strong enough, don't even try it. If you can't or don't dare, remember to pass on my memories to someone else, said the voice weakly before it disappeared. The content of the beast's bestial consciousness slowly started to flow out. It was as if it was going to disappear. You and that beast are quite similar, Lin Feng said to Cheong Chi. The Maharaja, even after dying, didn't want the world to forget about him. He wanted to transmit his knowledge, an unprecedented opportunity. Bullshit, I have nothing to do with that insane beast, said Cheong Chi, swearing. But I have to admit that if what he said is possible, it would be great. Bestial consciousness can be used by talented beasts. If human beings could also use godly awareness to absorb the desolate chi from the sea, they wouldn't need to be scared of crossing it either. Lin Feng nodded. He understood. If the Maharaja had managed to absorb the desolate chi, he didn't need to fear the sea anymore. After staying silent for a few minutes, Lin Feng asked, "How can I use bestial consciousness? Can bestial consciousness only be used by animals?" "Why do you ask?" asked Cheong Chi, surprised. "I can use bestial strength, so can I use bestial consciousness?" Lin Feng figured. Cheong Chi stared at Lin Feng. How could he have forgotten that Lin Feng had Ling Long's precious chi? On top of that, it was holy celestial energy. "Are you talking about practicing animal cultivation, or are you talking about swallowing desolate energies?" asked Cheong Chi with a serious tone. Lin Feng was insane as well, it seemed. Lin Feng nodded and said, "Ling Long's chi is a holy celestial energy. Her bestial consciousness must be incredibly powerful. It is not polluted at all, which means that I wouldn't need to replace that chi with the desolate chi, I could directly absorb it." "Ling Long's holy celestial chi is incredibly powerful," whispered Cheong Chi. Could Lin Feng do that? Besides, Cheong Chi had an animal body, it was easier for him to swallow the desolate chi. How can you be sure that the desolate energy won't corrode your body though and then destroy your pure chi? If your chi stops working properly, you'll die just like him. Animal energies and human energies are two separate things. He was a beast and swallowed the desolate energy which affected his other bestial energies. I'm different, there is nothing else in my bestial consciousness and it has nothing to do with my pure chi. If I try to use the desolate energy and it affects my body, then I will just have to put it back in my bestial consciousness and stop using it. It won't affect my human body, replied Lin Feng. My actual problem is whether I can use bestial consciousness or not. Bestial consciousness could be used by powerful beasts, like godly awareness with human beings. Even though he had Ling Long's holy celestial chi, could he use bestial consciousness? Cheong Chi looked at Lin Feng but didn't say anything. "Tell me, is it possible or not?" asked Lin Feng. If Lin Feng couldn't use bestial consciousness, Cheong Chi would have already insulted him. Cheong Chi took a deep breath and said, "Human beings and animals all have a soul and a spirit created by the earth and sky. Their bodies are different though. Human beings practice cultivation in their own way. Animals have their ways too which they inherit from birth. A human being shouldn't be able to use animal strength, but for you, it's different because you have Shui Ling Long's energies. She gave you holy celestial chi, so you have a very pure animal chi. If your bestial energy is powerful enough, you should be able to condense animal energies and use bestial consciousness. What you mean to say is that it's possible, right?" said Lin Feng with sharp lights in his eyes. "People have done that in the past. You wouldn't be the first one," said Cheong Chi, confirming Lin Feng's statement. Chapter 969, using bestial consciousness, I can practice animal cultivation. Lin Feng's eyes twinkled with sharp lights. He had Meng Qing's holy celestial qi and should be able to use bestial consciousness and practice animal cultivation skills and techniques. How do I practice animal cultivation and use bestial consciousness? Asked Lin Feng. Prepare yourself to receive my thoughts, said Qiong Qi. Lin Feng closed his eyes and a bright light penetrated into his forehead, between his eyes. Suddenly, he had an animal's memories. Lin Feng calmly received those transmissions. After a long time, he opened his eyes. To practice animal cultivation, he had to circulate animal strength everywhere in his body. Then, he had to use pure animal energy to open his bestial consciousness. Lin Feng looked at the Maharaja. His desolate qi had almost completely disappeared. Lin Feng grabbed his skeleton. It was a very powerful Zun-level beast, so his skeleton was a precious treasure. Lin Feng sat down cross-legged in the cave, started to cultivate. Qiong Qi looked at Lin Feng and then left the cave. Lin Feng could try if he wished. If Lin Feng managed to use Ling Long's holy celestial energy to open his bestial consciousness, then he would benefit greatly. Lin Feng released Ling Long's holy celestial energy. Although Lin Feng could only release a little bit of it, it was still enough for him to use the empty space bestial illusion technique to create the snowy path illusion. If he could control it in its entirety, he would be able to carry out incredibly powerful bestial attacks. However, what he was able to use wasn't enough to open his bestial consciousness. He slowly released Ling Long's holy celestial qi, even though he couldn't do it too fast. Lin Feng wasn't in a hurry. Half a month later, Lin Feng was still in the cave. His holy celestial qi could fill up the whole cave now. Lin Feng's entire body was surrounded by holy celestial bestial qi. If other people had seen Lin Feng right now, they would have thought that he was a beast appearing in his human form. Between Lin Feng's eyes, a sharp bestial energy had appeared. That was where his godly awareness usually came from, but now, that was where his bestial consciousness was. He looked like a beast practicing cultivation. The pure snow qi turned into a vortex as he opened his bestial consciousness. Bestial qi rolled in the air and whistling sounds spread in the cave. Lin Feng's body started shaking. He grinded his teeth and made great efforts to control Ling Long's holy celestial energy. The vortex between his eyes turned into an animal awareness and absorbed the strength from his bestial qi with his third eye. "Come out!" shouted Lin Feng furiously. Pure celestial lights appeared and they were dazzling. Lin Feng could now control Ling Long's holy celestial qi at a new level. He controlled the energy to open his bestial consciousness. The atmosphere in the cave became calm again. He used Ling Long's holy celestial energy to absorb all the strength which had turned into holy celestial bestial consciousness. The bestial consciousness was calmly floating around him. Ling Long's energy was amongst the purest in the world. It could also be used to absorb other bestial energies. Lin Feng didn't forget what the Maharaja had taught him though. He couldn't pollute his bestial consciousness with desolate qi. Lin Feng started opening his bestial consciousness, but he didn't stop circulating his holy celestial qi. After a few days, Lin Feng couldn't control it any better than before, so he stopped practicing it. Seated cross-legged, he opened his eyes and now looked like a beast even more. He also slowly closed his third eye. Qiong Qi came back inside the cave from the island. Lin Feng had really opened his bestial consciousness. He was just lucky that Ling Long had given him her holy celestial qi though. "You're really going to try?" asked Qiong Qi. "Yes," nodded Lin Feng. He stood up and left the cave. After all that, Lin Feng had to try. Qiong Qi looked serious. He followed Lin Feng as they quickly arrived on the beach. It really wasn't pleasant to be next to that qi again. "Stay far away, otherwise your bestial consciousness won't stand it," said Qiong Qi. Lin Feng nodded and opened his third eye. A vortex appeared as Lin Feng slowly started absorbing the qi of the sea using his third eye. It was painful at first. It was as if the desolate chi was trying to destroy Lin Feng's bestial consciousness, but Ling Long's holy celestial bestial chi was extremely solid. That desolate chi stayed inside and circulated quickly. Cheong Chi stared at Lin Feng nervously. Lin Feng opened his eyes again and nodded at Cheong Chi. I can swallow it. Cheong Chi was amazed and nodded in return. It was a very dangerous but beneficial ability. Lin Feng moved closer to the sea. His bestial consciousness roared as it absorbed the desolate chi in an insane way. The desolate chi seemed like it was going to tear apart Lin Feng's bestial consciousness. Ordinary animals would die doing that. The Maharaja could only do it because he was extremely strong and his bestial consciousness was very solid, thought Lin Feng. However, the Maharaja had swallowed too much and died trying. Ling Long's holy celestial chi was releasing a powerful strength which protected the bestial consciousness and prevented the desolate chi from getting too aggressive. Lin Feng stopped and closed his bestial consciousness. Cheong Chi heard Lin Feng's bestial roar. Lin Feng was now using his bestial consciousness to replace his bestial strength with the desolate chi. If Lin Feng managed to completely replace his animal strength with the desolate chi, he would never need to fear the Huang Sea again. He could cross it fearlessly. Lin Feng remained motionless, almost like he was in a trance. Cheong Chi observed him. Lin Feng was as insane as the Maharaja. After a very long time, Lin Feng released some desolate chi. Cheong Chi was astonished and even opened his huge mouth in awe. Lin Feng could now release desolate chi. Chapter 970, Fearless on the Huang Sea. Cheong Chi didn't need to give Lin Feng any more advice. Lin Feng knew what to do. Lin Feng wasn't going to play with his own life carelessly. He had put his pure chi, Buddha, and demonic energies aside in his body so they could remain calm. They couldn't mix with the desolate chi, just like the bestial chi. At the same time, the desolate chi invaded his whole body and it was very painful. However, Lin Feng's flesh was strong and he could withstand the pain. Lin Feng remained motionless as he continued practicing cultivation. He used his spirit and his Tian Xian stone to understand the desolate chi even more now. Slowly, his body could withstand the pain much better. Lin Feng did that for 10 days. He slowly absorbed the desolate chi and made it flow everywhere inside his body. Slowly, his bestial consciousness had its own strength, the strength of the desolate chi. It could stay there without any problems, it seemed. He still had the same issue as before though, it was difficult for his corporeal body to mix with the desolate chi. Lin Feng discovered that the more he understood the desolate chi with his bestial consciousness, the better his corporeal body could manage the pain. It was strange. Therefore, the more he understood the desolate chi, the more his body could resist the energy. It was like his body didn't consider the desolate chi as a foreign body anymore. However, it was increasingly more difficult to understand the desolate energy with each step. Understanding external energies naturally wasn't easy to do because they originated from outside their own body, and thus, different from the energies a cultivator or a beast already possessed. Lin Feng continued absorbing desolate chi and continued walking towards the beach. He was getting so closer to the sea now. Cheong Chi stopped. Although Lin Feng could tolerate the energy, Cheong Chi couldn't. Cheong Chi looked at Lin Feng with some admiration. What an incredible guy. He actually succeeded, thought Cheong Chi. He thought about the Maharaja again. Bestial consciousness was everywhere in a beast's body, so if they absorbed the desolate chi, they died because it invaded their whole body. Lin Feng was different, his bestial consciousness was just a small part of his body. The most important fact was Lin Feng still had his godly awareness. If someday Lin Feng's bestial consciousness couldn't absorb desolate chi anymore and it spilled over, the consequences would be lethal. 7 days later, Lin Feng was already 500 meters away from the sea. Half a month later, Lin Feng was only 200 meters away from the sea. The wind made his clothes flutter. 1 month later, Lin Feng had both legs in the water and remained straight like a mountain. The desolate chi was blowing against his body, but it didn't affect him. Cheong Chi was still sitting there motionlessly watching Lin Feng. Lin Feng had succeeded, he no longer feared the Huang Sea anymore. At that moment, Lin Feng opened his eyes. He was knee-deep in the water. He released desolate chi, which was exactly the same as the chi of the Huang Sea. I can take a few steps in, but I still can't cross the sea, I think. In the depths of the sea, the desolate energy is even more powerful, thought Lin Feng, sighing. Emperor Shi and Emperor Yu were going to start their recruitment process 3 months later. If Lin Feng didn't hurry, he would miss the recruitment process. Lin Feng took a few quick steps into the sea, which was now up to his belly. What are you doing? Asked Cheong Chi, alarmed. Don't worry, I can do it, said Lin Feng without turning around. He continued walking into the sea. Very quickly, he had water up to his neck. Bastard! Lin Feng had almost completely submerged himself in the sea. Cheong Chi was terribly nervous. If Lin Feng couldn't stand it, he would die without the time to regret. Lin Feng had completely disappeared in the water now. Cheong Chi couldn't even sense Lin Feng's chi anymore, it was as if he had never been there. He looked at the sea and was still extremely nervous. Had Lin Feng died? Even most Zun cultivators didn't actually go that deep into the sea. After a long time, Cheong Chi still couldn't see Lin Feng. Had something happened to him? Boom! At that moment, 1 kilometer away, a silhouette emerged out of the water and rose up in the air. He was absorbing incredible amounts of desolate chi with his third eye. Cheong Chi looked at Lin Feng and then looked at his third eye. Then, Lin Feng closed his third eye, turned around and looked at Cheong Chi. Lin Feng looked like an animal. Emperor, I can swim in the sea as I wish now. I can absorb as much desolate chi as I want and can hold it in my bestial consciousness, said Lin Feng, smiling like an animal. So many Zun cultivators would be envious. Lin Feng had done it. Idiot, be careful not to harm your bestial consciousness, said Cheong Chi. Don't worry. The more I absorb, the stronger my holy celestial chi becomes, shouted Lin Feng excitedly. Desolate chi was his now. He was fearless. It's Ling Long's holy celestial spirit. Cheong Chi thought. If Lin Feng didn't have Ling Long's holy celestial chi, he wouldn't have been able to do that. Lin Feng had managed to do what the Maharaja hadn't. Cheong Chi watched as Lin Feng jumped into the sea again. He disappeared in the water and suddenly appeared somewhere else again. He was swimming in the sea, fearlessly. Cheong Chi didn't need to worry about Lin Feng anymore. Chapter 971, Yang Clan and Xian Yuanshire. Dazzling lights appeared above the Huang Sea as something crashed onto the island. Boom boom, a crater appeared and the island shook. Dust flew around. What was that? A beautiful girl appeared who looked like she wasn't in a good mood at all. Behind her were 2 young men who looked like her bodyguards. Come out, said the girl as a lifeboat appeared. It looked broken. The 2 young men looked at the boat and didn't appear happy either. Miss, you can't control it. Without protection layers, we can't go back to Ba Huang province. That boat can't even be used anymore anyways, said the 2 young men. Their eyes were twinkling as if they had been thinking about something. How could they go back to Ba Huang province? The girl looked depressed. They couldn't go back. Were they stuck on that island now? You're both useless, said the girl coldly. We need to go back within a month, no matter what. Miss, we can't protect ourselves against the chi of the Huang Sea, how could we go back? We can only wait for the strong cultivators of the clan to find us, said one of the young men. Without abstruse energy, they couldn't go back. Wait for the clan to come and find us? The girl turned pale. She looked terribly annoyed. Do you know how vast the sea is? That island is completely empty. The clan will probably never find us either. Well, what can we do, miss? said one of the young men, looking annoyed as well. We need to come up with a plan. I have to go back to Ba Huang province within a month, said the girl coldly. The two young men glanced at each other as if they were thinking about the same thing. They stood up and slowly turned around, looking at the beautiful girl. The girl's body became rigid. What did they want? When you escaped, we informed the clan. Maybe they will never find the island, but at least they will start looking for you, sooner or later, said one of them coldly. Besides, if we can't go back to Ba Huang province within a month, and if the clan finds us someday, so what? Will you have us killed? Said the other one. The girl slowly started taking a few steps back. That's not what I mean. I just hope we can find a solution to get back to the Ba Huang province, that's all, said the girl, looking nervous. We know why you want to go back. Emperor Shi and Emperor Yu will start their recruitment process in a month. They want to make the Prince Xian Yuan leave the clan and get first place as a new imperial cultivation disciple, so that they can then ask your father for your hand. Then, the Xian Yuan and the Yang's blood could mix and the prince would have the opportunity to have imperial blood, said the guard while walking towards the girl and releasing his qi. They could obtain your blood and become stronger. It would be beneficial for all of you, especially if he gets first place at the recruitment process. Said that person, moving with incredible speed. Lin Feng could hardly escape that cultivator of the 6th Tian Qi layer. Die, shouted Lin Feng furiously. It seemed like a sword came out of Lin Feng's mouth. Boom! That person raised his fists and blocked the sword, and it immediately disappeared. Then, he continued chasing Lin Feng. You want to die, said Lin Feng coldly. He opened his third eye and released a green palace made of godly awareness. The enemy frowned. Lin Feng had only broken through to the 2nd Tian Qi layer but could already condense a palace, not bad. You'll die anyways, said that person, opening his third eye as well. His godly awareness turned into a crescent moon-shaped blade. Die, said Lin Feng in an ice-cold way. He opened his other third eye and released some desolate qi. Boom! The enemy was stupefied. What was that? An animal eye. That was desolate qi. His internal organs twitched. He walked back, but it was too late. The desolate qi enveloped his body. He gave a horrible shriek as his body slowly turned into ashes and flew away in the wind. He was dead. Chapter 972, Deadly Lights. A cultivator of the 6th Tian Qi layer had died in a flash. Then, Lin Feng recalled his desolate qi back into his bestial consciousness. Lin Feng had 2 third eyes now. When Lin Feng opened his third human eye to release his godly awareness, his opponent didn't think that Lin Feng could have a bestial third eye as well. Therefore, he didn't have time to react. After killing that person, Lin Feng's silhouette flickered. The other bodyguard was already fighting the young woman who had broken through to the 3rd Tian Qi layer. Her clothes were already torn apart and her shoulders were visible. That person turned his head. When he saw that Lin Feng hadn't died, he frowned. What was going on? Where is my friend? That person released his godly awareness and looked around, but only Lin Feng was left. No need to look for him. He's dead, said Lin Feng, smiling indifferently. He's dead? The bodyguard was surprised. You killed him. As far as I know, there's nobody else on the island, said Lin Feng with a resplendent smile. His body was surrounded by bestial qi. The enemy looked perplexed. His friend was dead. His friend had died from a cultivator of the 2nd Tian Qi layer. It looks like I made a mistake. You're hiding your real cultivation level, right? Said that person after remaining silent for a few seconds. Lin Feng was smiling. After all, he had used incredible powers to allow people get onto the pirate's boat. Now, he had killed his friend of the 6th Tian Qi layer. Therefore, Lin Feng could only be hiding his real cultivation level. He couldn't possibly be of the second Tian Qi layer. The young woman actually thought the same as well. "Help me kill him," said the girl to Lin Feng. "Shut the hell up," shouted the bodyguard furiously. He then looked at Lin Feng and smiled. "Your Excellency, you don't know who that girl is. She is from the northern part of Ba Huang province. She belongs to one of the biggest imperial clans, the Yangshi clan. They are very powerful and have a very strong blood. If you have sex with her, you can make your own blood become much stronger. If you agree, you can go ahead first. What do you think?" Lin Feng looked at the girl. She was so beautiful. Her skin was silky white. She was very sexy and she definitely had a strong blood. Any man would be aroused by looking at her. Lin Feng had seen how the captain of the Purple Jade ship respected her, therefore, he knew that she had a very high social status. Her clan probably had very strong Zun cultivators. The girl looked at Lin Feng. She seemed scared. The situation looked really bad for her. If Lin Feng didn't care, she would have no way to stop those two men. "Help me," said the girl sounding fragile. She was begging Lin Feng. "Your Excellency, you are very talented. If your blood becomes stronger on top of it, you will become unstoppable," added the bodyguard. "I have to admit that you convinced me," said Lin Feng with a resplendent smile, slowly walking towards the girl. She was suddenly petrified as she looked at Lin Feng with hatred. "Your Excellency, you're very smart. Such a beautiful and rich girl, you will enjoy it," said the bodyguard with an evil smile, looking at Lin Feng slowly walking towards her. Very quickly, Lin Feng arrived in front of the young woman. She grinded her teeth and looked at Lin Feng. She was disgusted. Snowflakes appeared in the air. "Such a beautiful girl, you first, you're dreaming," shouted a voice furiously. Energies emerged behind Lin Feng. Boom boom. However, that strength didn't reach Lin Feng. It was as if Lin Feng wasn't there. However, at the same time, Lin Feng had already released his own incredible energies. "Die," said Lin Feng, punching the air in his enemy's direction. He didn't realize that Lin Feng would act so fast, like lightning. The enemy was propelled backwards. He thought about the fact that Lin Feng could attack him before, so had taken a step back just in case. He looked at Lin Feng, surprised. Moving back was useless, it even seemed like he wasn't moving at all. "Piss off." The snowy tunnel was shaking violently now as the enemy raised his hands. The chi hadn't disappeared yet when a gigantic mountain appeared and started falling on top of him. That mountain contained the strength of the earth and sky. That cultivator of the 6th Tian Qi layer could barely breathe. He continued running backwards, but it wasn't working. He was in an illusion. The mountain crashed onto his body as the entire illusion shook. "Bastard!" shouted the bodyguard. Boom! Boom, boom boom. Crackling sounds spread in the air, the bodyguard's bones were cracking. "Stop, Your Excellency, please stop," shouted that person. However, Lin Feng ignored him and continued attacking. Boom boom boom, the earth and sky were still shaking violently, and so was the snowy tunnel. The bodyguard was already crawling on the ground. The girl looked at Lin Feng as if he were a Zun cultivator, a god. His attacks were too powerful. "Stop," begged the bodyguard. Lin Feng looked cold and detached. Why would he stop? That person attacked him by surprise. Lin Feng wouldn't let him off. His Tian Xian stone turned into a mountain and fell on him. Crevices appeared in the ground as blood splashed everywhere. Lin Feng finally stopped attacking and his Tian Xian stone disappeared. The enemy was dead, crushed, his organs had exploded everywhere. "Attacking me by surprise, said Lin Feng coldly. He turned around and walked towards the young woman. She still looked scared. "Let's go," said Lin Feng, gently stretching his hand towards the girl. She looked at him carefully and grabbed his hand. Lin Feng shook his hand, a robe appeared and he put it on the woman. "You need to heal your wounds first. The girl didn't look scared anymore. Lin Feng took her to a cave where the desolate qi was weak and where it was better to recover. Heal first, said Lin Feng, and then he left. He saw Cheong Qi outside looking at the broken boat. What are you thinking? Asked Lin Feng, but Cheong Qi ignored him. After a long time, he looked at Lin Feng, smiled and said, little boy, you're lucky. That boat isn't completely broke, I can repair it. Lin Feng was surprised. You mean that? What I mean is that we can leave the island. Cheong Qi smiled. That little boy was quite lucky. Chapter 973, Ba Huang Province, we can leave. Lin Feng couldn't believe it at first, but then a smile gradually appeared on his face. He felt so relieved and breathed in deeply. Emperor, let's do it now then, said Lin Feng smiling. Cheong Qi nodded and said, give me some time. Besides, if I repair that boat, we need the girl to remove her connection to the boat. So she will have to give it up. You should go inform her about that. Me? Then, Cheong Qi added, if I fix that boat, we can't give it back to her. It will be yours. It's good for your safety as well. In Ba Huang Province, you will often face dangerous situations and possessing a variety of items may just save you. Lin Feng remained silent, he had to agree that having a boat might just be a good idea. I'll talk to her, said Lin Feng. The girl had helped him a few times. If she hadn't been there to talk to the captain of the Purple Jade ship, the patriarch of the Xiaoyao sect would have come aboard and killed him. Now, her two bodyguards tried to rape and kill her, and now Lin Feng would take her boat. That must not have been fun for her. Lin Feng went to see the girl. Cheong Qi looked at Lin Feng from the back, his eyes were twinkling. He hadn't known Lin Feng for a long time, but he knew that Lin Feng was a sensitive person. That attitude might hurt him in this world of cultivation. The girl had broken the boat and Lin Feng had saved her. If they fixed her boat, keeping it was absolutely normal. If Lin Feng hadn't been there, Cheong Qi would have immediately removed the girl's connection to the boat without asking. Lin Feng arrived in the cave. The woman who was healing herself opened her eyes and asked indifferently, is something wrong? I came to talk to you about your boat. We can fix it. The girl was surprised and said, really? Yes, nodded Lin Feng. Please fix it, I'll be so grateful. I will fix it, but we need to remove your connection to the boat, said Lin Feng. The girl frowned but understood what Lin Feng meant. She nodded, all right, if you can fix it and take me back to Ba Huang Province, you can keep it. All right. Continue healing yourself, said Lin Feng as he left again. 3 days later, Lin Feng was swimming in the river. He jumped out of the water and went to the center of the island. There were abstruse energies surrounding the boat now. Yen Di, did you fix the boat? Asked Lin Feng. It's your boat now, you just have to learn how to control it, you'll know if it's fixed then, said Cheong Qi. Lin Feng released his awareness and the boat gradually became bigger. Such a boat must be incredibly expensive, whispered Lin Feng. That boat had probably been created by an incredible cultivator. It required knowledge in certain crafts and illusion spells. Of course. To create such a boat, a cultivator needs to be strong, physically and mentally, said Cheong Qi. Lin Feng nodded and made the boat become even larger. That boat works on abstruse crystals and it consumes a lot of them. So be prepared. I understand, said Lin Feng nodding. At that moment, someone's voice came from behind them. Cheong Qi and Lin Feng turned around and saw the young woman. You fixed it? Her eyes were twinkling. Lin Feng had only broken through to the second Tian Qi layer, so she didn't believe it. She was convinced he was hiding his cultivation level. He had probably just broken through to the 4th or 5th Tian Qi layer, but he was able to defeat cultivators of the 6th Tian Qi layer. The most surprising part was that Lin Feng, with the strength of the Tian Qi layer, had managed to fix the boat. Even some Zun cultivators wouldn't have managed to fix it. I have some tools which allowed me to fix it, said Lin Feng. He couldn't tell her Cheong Qi had fixed it. Nobody could know about Cheong Qi's secrets. Even though the young woman didn't really understand, she couldn't ask much. Lin Feng had secrets and that would have to be normal. Thank you for saving me. My name is Yang Ziyi. You know who I am, I belong to the Yangshi clan from the northern part of the Ba Huang province. I hope you can take me home safely, said the young woman to Lin Feng. My name is Lin Feng. You helped me too, said Lin Feng nodding. I'm going to Ba Huang province as well. We can go together. Alright, we need to be careful though because the pirates are still looking for me. We won't necessarily encounter them, but still. Once we're in Ba Huang province, we'll be safe because the pirates won't go there. Who are those pirates? Do they want to mix their blood with yours too? They even prepared an ambush to kidnap you, asked Lin Feng. He had sent Tang Yu and the others to the island of the 9 dragons, he was wondering if they were okay. The pirates consider themselves as the rulers of the Huang Sea. Some traders also go to the island of the 9 dragons to do business there. They have precious treasures and the sea is so vast that it is difficult to find them. They want to kill me because some things happened between my clan and them. But they also want to mix their blood with mine, you are right, explained Yang Ziyi. The pirates just seemed like a normal group of influence, they didn't seem to be evil or anything. Hopefully, Yu and Jun Mo she shouldn't have any problems with them. Were they in Ba Huang province already? Lin Feng hoped his friends were alright. Let's go, said Lin Feng as they jumped onto the boat. The boat was surrounded by abstruse energies as it crossed the sea with incredible speed. Lin Feng looked around and felt tiny in the middle of that sea. He also felt like he was still too weak. They continued sailing. There was no storm and no pirates in sight. 7 days later, land was in sight. It was Ba Huang province. You're tuning into the Blissful Bookshelf YouTube channel. We're so grateful for your support and don't forget to subscribe to join us on this incredible journey through captivating stories. Your generosity through donations truly makes a world of difference, as it's the primary source of revenue that allows me to expand and enhance this channel for you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for being a part of this adventure.